guys, it's Maya. Thank you so much for clicking on our video today. As you can see by the title, this reading is all about a no contact situation. So this could have been somebody that you are in a separation with. This could have been a breakup. This could be somebody you're just not speaking to right now. This could also be a platonic or a family, family member situation as well. I do feel like the readings are going to be leaning more towards it being romantic, but definitely you can watch this for anybody that you are in a no contact situation with and you want to know like what's going on. I will do my best to give messages for all types of scenarios. And yeah, so I just wanted to say you can watch this for any scenario that you have in mind, and it is super in-depth. Let me actually show you the overview of our reading today. So we have our YouTube portion right here where we really go in deep, figure out exactly what's going on with your situation. And then we also have a little extended today for some extra information for you guys if anybody is interested. The extended will be linked in the description, and I'll go over the breakdown after you guys choose your cards. And actually another thing I wanted to mention before we get into it is I do have some spaces available for private readings. So if that's something you're interested in and you want to have either a one-on-one session with me, or you can have a pre-recorded reading, if you're interested in that, definitely send me an email. I will put up a little thing here on the screen, but I'll also put my email down in the description if you are interested. I have a few slots available, so yeah, if you're interested, I would love to have a reading with you. Okay, so I have 4 groups for you guys to choose from. Each group has a different tarot deck, has a different crystal, and has a different card that came out after I shuffled all the decks. So there could be multiple ways for you to be drawn to your reading. And keep in mind, if you have more than one person that you want to know about, then you can definitely watch as many readings as you would like today. So let me go ahead and show you all of your options up close one by one. Group 1, this is the Modern Witch Tarot deck. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this white jade. Your card is the Hanged One, which is also the Hanged Man. Group 2, this is the Lightseers Tarot deck. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this Cat's Eye. Your card is the Lovers. Group 3, this is the Field Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this Amethyst Chunk. Your random card is the Sun. Group 4, this is the Muse Tarot. This is what the back looks like. And your crystal is this Bloodstone. Your card is Awakening. Okay, you guys, I also just realized every deck got a major arcana, which is very cool, very interesting that it worked out that way. But yeah, these are all of your options laid out for you side by side. Take all the time you need. You can watch as many as you would like. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with group number 1. Hey guys, if you chose this white jade with this Hanged One and the Modern Witch Tarot deck, this is your group. Hello, group number 1. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will set the crystals on the selenite today. Okay, so let's run through the breakdown really quickly of our reading today. We have so much to talk about, you guys, so get comfy because it's going to be a while. So we're going to start off with who is coming through for this no contact reading today, and that can be your energy check to see if this is the person that you are asking about. After we see who is coming through, we're going to go ahead and see what is the current energy of the connection itself. So we will see what is your energy, what is their energy, and then what is the actual energy of the connection. And then we'll also go ahead and see what was the connection like before no contact. We'll go ahead and see what were their feelings before and after no contact, see if anything changed and what changed. We'll also go ahead and see what are they currently going through, if they're going through anything that they're not, telling you about. And then we'll also see what would they say to you if they were being honest. Then we'll go ahead and, oh wait, this is the extended. And then in the extended, we're going to go ahead and see, will they reach out? And if so, when? So we'll try to get some kind of a time frame on if this person will reach out to you. And then we'll go ahead and see, you know, should you take action or will spirit take action? So in the extended, we're going to see, you know, will this person take action? Should you do it? Or is spirit going to orchestrate some kind of divine timing or divine intervention between the two of you? So there's a lot to talk about. Let me go ahead and move this over. I usually try to, well, I don't try to, it just kind of comes to me. I always have some kind of a little energy check with the intro card that you guys chose, but I also like to say that the intro card definitely does not have to have any meaning to you, because I've definitely chosen cards before that are just pretty, or I like the aesthetic, but it, like, the card, the meaning itself, like, does not resonate with me, and that's totally fine. I mean, you could still watch this and not resonate with what I might say about the card itself. So with the Hanged One here, the Hanged Man, this is a period of rest, so, you know, nothing's happening. I also think with the Hanged Man, there is a bit of a perspective shift that's happening, because we see that the person's head is always glowing in the Hanged Man image. So it's like you're having some kind of a perspective shift. You know, not a lot of action is being taken. Maybe we're learning something, maybe we're gaining clarity about something, but it is like some kind of clarity or some kind of information that is coming to you on your own, or something you have realized on your own, or yeah, it's kind of just like there's not a lot happening, but you're realizing something on your own. Or for others of you, it could just be that you're in a period of waiting, you're in a period of rest, not a lot has happened, and maybe you do want more clarity about the situation because there is no movement. This is also Pisces energy, and Pisces always, you know, it's a very dreamy, it's a very like daydreamy kind of an energy. So, or like even fantasy, that kind of vibe. So, you know, you could be kind of daydreaming, you could be fantasizing about this person, or just kind of like, because your fantasies could be running wild, especially because you don't know what's happening or you don't have the clarity of what's going on. So whether your fantasies or your daydreamings, whether they're like, you know, anxiety driven, whether it's sometimes overthinking it, or maybe it's like good fantasies and you're enjoying fantasizing about this person. But I do think you're kind of like left to fill in the boxes on your own. I don't know why it's coming through like that, but that is something I'm feeling for this group. So it does feel like you are seeking some kind of information. So thank you for being here today, because that's what I'm going to try to give you. So we have a deck that I split up. This is the Major Arcana here, we have all the court cards here, and then we have the Minor Arcana here. So this is going to give us the energy of who this person is that's coming through today. So this is going to be the energy check for you. And if this does not sound like your person that you are asking about, then definitely check out a different group. But yes, so I'll get one card from each pile, and that will give us like the overall picture of who this person is, their personality, you know, what they're like, all of that good stuff. And another thing I wanted to say actually about the deck that you guys chose, the Modern Witch Tarot, this was actually the second tarot deck I ever bought when I first started reading cards. And I started reading cards in January of 2021. And this was the second deck I ever bought, and she's kind of discolored on the side. Like if you see a brand new version of this deck, it's super white on all sides, but that's how you know I've had this deck for a very long time. I've used it for a very long time. Okay, so this is the Major Arcana pile. So for group one, who is coming through? Let's get one card to see who is this energy that's coming through today for group one. Who is coming through today for group one? Ah, the Emperor. I knew it. I just knew there was going to be some like major masculine energy coming through, because that sense of like fantasizing, I really feel like for a lot of you there could be like a lot of, you know, I mean, it doesn't have to be like sexual fantasies, but it does feel like there's a lot of fantasizing or daydreaming about this person. So I just knew that, I just feel like I know the demographic of my readers a little bit right now. So, or not my readers, my listeners. So I just feel like I knew this was going to be a bit of a masculine energy. Okay, let's go ahead and get a card from the court cards. Aww, King of Cups. Oh my gosh, so sweet. Best of both worlds. We got fire, and then we got King of Cups. The Emperor is Aries energy, and then King of Cups is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And now with the rest of the deck, let's get one more card to describe our person that's coming through today, Group 1's person. Let's get one more card to describe Group 1's person here today. Three of Swords. Two of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. Okay. This deck is so like slippery. Like the cards just don't stay still. And the garage is opening. Please ignore that. My room right now is right on top of the garage. Okay. Okay. This is Gemini energy. And it's interesting that the Three of Swords came out for a card to describe this person. Okay, let's just get started. So this person, definitely masculine energy that's coming through here. And I feel like for one, this is a very physically attractive person. They could be just like conventionally very attractive. And also when I say masculine, it doesn't have to be a man, you know, it could just be anybody that is embodying a masculine energy, but they're very conventionally attractive. I mean, you know, I definitely think that people they have hard eyes. Like people have hard eyes every time that they see this individual. I also feel like their physical appearance could be a little bit different than their personality, because even though they're coming through as a very like sexy, very hot, very attractive person on the outside, they are such a lover boy or a lover girl, whoever. It's like they're such a lover on the inside, and I feel like you wouldn't guess that right away. Like you wouldn't think that they have such love and that they have such emotional depth to them because of the way they look, you know. And I think just as humans in this society that we live in, we just assume that if somebody is very physically attractive, that they would not be a loving or kind person, or that they would be stuck up in some way, or they would be like a F-boy, F-girl kind of a vibe. But I do think that you would be very shocked after you got to know this person, because you're like, wait a second, they actually love deep, you know, they have a lot of love, they have a big heart. I also think this person cares about people so much, and you wouldn't know that right away. They also seem very emotionally intelligent as well, because the King of Cups is the king, you know, this is the highest rank that we can go through when we go through the court cards. So this is somebody that's very emotionally evolved, emotionally stable as well. I do think this person has gone through a lot of pain in life, and I also feel like they could have had to learn the hard way when it comes to their emotions, because I think when this person was younger and before they were, you know, before they were as evolved as they are now emotionally, I do think they were the type of person to like wear their heart on their sleeve, or, you know, always give people the benefit of the doubt, or always give love, and they didn't always get it back in return. And I think this person has gone through a lot of pain or heartbreak in some way that has to do with emotions throughout their life, or at a younger age, that has caused them to become very emotionally stable, emotionally intelligent, emotionally independent as well. So for example, this could have been like a breakup, you know, somebody that really hurt them in the past, and they had to really learn from that experience. Or this could have been from maybe even like family members that could have hurt them, or, you know, this could have also been like they just really trusted somebody and that person broke their heart, you know. I mean, I think it's very straightforward that they just felt some level of emotional pain at some point in life, and that really helped them heal, and it's helped mold them into the intelligent, emotionally intelligent person they are today. This is Libra energy. I also think this person could, even to this day, I mean, it doesn't even matter how emotionally evolved they are. I think to this day, this person could definitely struggle with balancing their head and their heart, balancing their logic and their emotions, balancing practicality and, you know, everything else. Especially with that daydreaming energy, that Pisces energy, sometimes we can really get in our head with that energy. So I think even to this day, this person could have a hard time balancing the two, and they could get hurt. You know, even to this day, I feel like this person could get hurt easily, or they could put themselves in a situation where sometimes they are viewing it through emotions, or they are, you know, emotionally invested into something, so it's tough for them to make a rational decision. And it's also interesting how this person is coming through as the emperor and the king. The emperor is like the top dog, you know, the emperor and the empress, they sit at the very top, just like the king and the queen sit at the very top. So it does feel like this person could be older, or they could also be just more emotionally stable, emotionally evolved in life. They could also just be more successful in life as well. They could definitely be, you know, older than you, but it doesn't have to be age. It could just be maturity and how they've evolved as a person. They're just very mature. So you could still be young and be very mature, but they have evolved a lot, and they're kind of sitting at the top when it comes to who they are as a person. They do know themselves very well. They know what they want, and I think that's just how they live life. They pursue, you know, they pursue their dreams, their goals. They know exactly what they want. I also think this person knows exactly what they want in a partner. They want somebody to match them, to match their status, or to match their energy, to match their like power couple vibes. I feel like this person has a very specific idea of who they want to be with, and it's definitely giving like they need the empress to their emperor, they need the queen to their king. For some of you with this no contact situation, you know, we'll get into more of what the energy is like between the two of you, but it does almost feel like maybe you were never like in a deep relationship with them. Like with all this fantasizing, it does make me feel like maybe this is a crush that you have, or somebody that you are interested in, but you're not speaking to them, you know, as often as you want to, or you just don't know them that well. Maybe you're not even speaking to them at all. Maybe you're viewing them from a distance and fantasizing about it, or you just like have a crush on this person. You know, that doesn't have to be for everybody, but that's kind of what I'm seeing here for some of you. I think this is somebody who is very driven in life. They're very, you know, action oriented. They are very confident, they're outgoing, they get things done, which is probably why they could be more successful, or why they have gained everything that they have so far in life, is because they work very hard and they got to, you know, they work hard and they got to where they want to be. But yeah, it just feels like they're like seeking the right partner, and they have been hurt in the past, so maybe they're a little like afraid of relationships, or maybe they're afraid of getting hurt the way they did at one point in time. It does feel like there's some kind of a wall around their emotions or around their heart because of something they went through in the past, and maybe that's why like things are not moving as fast as you want them to, because I do feel like this person has a wall up. I also feel like they probably have a lot of admirers, and they have a lot of people that want to date them or want to be in a relationship with them, but I do feel like this person is picky. And even though a lot of people could like throw themselves at them, flirt with them, you know, I don't think this person is serious if they were to flirt back, or if they were to like give into that energy. I don't think they're serious about it. It does feel like they have a spot in their heart for a like long-term partner, and I just don't think they found it yet. But I do feel like they could be very flirtatious, just in general their personality feels flirtatious, and I think they enjoy the attention that they get, you know, from women, from people. I think they enjoy the attention, and I think they can like, you know, bounce off of it and like kind of give back into that energy, but I don't think they're looking for anything serious when they are going into that energy. I hope that makes sense. One thing that's so interesting that's coming through about like this person's emotions is maybe like when they were younger, or maybe just again with society and being a masculine person, you know, society teaches masculine people that they should not have emotions, or they should not express their emotions, or, you know, like emotions are more of a feminine thing. And I do feel like this person, they have like a very tough exterior, and it's like they would never really show their emotional side, or they would never really show how big their heart is until you got to know them, and then you kind of see them in a completely different light. But it does feel like it's not like a front. Like I don't think they're putting on a facade or like putting on a show, but I do think they have a very like strict and like masculine exterior that they are comfortable with. That's how they present themselves to the world. I don't know why it's coming through like that. Okay, I think that's everything I'm seeing. I'm sure, you know, if I get more, I will definitely let you guys know. So let's take these cards here. And now let's get into the second part of the group. So let me get my cards together and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have a lot of cards here. I will... actually, another thing I was thinking about with these cards here is I can't speak. This person could have been hurt by another masculine figure in their life, especially like a dad or, you know, like some kind of a masculine energy that they were close to growing up. And that's another reason I was picking up on, maybe they were told that they cannot be emotional or they should not tap into their emotions, or that it's wrong for them to do that. But it does feel like they could have had some kind of like a tough relationship with a masculine energy in their life, and maybe that person hurt them, you know, pretty badly, or left some pretty deep wounds, and they're still kind of dealing through it. I also feel like that person could have really shaped who this person is today, and with the way that they view emotions, and maybe with the way that they kind of have their heart guarded a little bit, or maybe with what, you know, just other things that could have happened to them in their life. It does feel like whoever that person was that made an impression on them a long time ago, I think that impression kind of still lingers in their life, even if they don't realize it. Okay, I'm just gonna set these aside, but we'll still have them. So now I have cards here to see what is the current energy of this connection. So right now, what is going on in this connection between you and this person that we have been talking about. So we're going to look at your energy on this side, their energy on this side, and this is going to show us the energy of the connection itself. And actually, I think I'm like totally going to move this because it's going to take up too much space. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what is your current energy in this no contact or separation situation that you're going through. You have try and try again. Queen of Water. That is actually so sweet because, you know, they had the King of Cups come up as one of their cards, and you have the Queen of Cups coming out. We have the words loving, giving, and psychic. Oh, and I was saying they're looking for a queen to their king. So that's actually really sweet. I also feel like with this energy, you could be very emotionally intelligent, you know, on your own. And I think you really try to be there for this person, or you really try to help them out, or you want to, like, you want to be there for them. You want to listen to them. You want to try to help them with whatever they're going through. I feel like you're very loving and nurturing in that way. And I do think you understand that there could be something going on with them, or there's a reason that, you know, they've detached or that they have pulled back or something. So I feel like your energy is very eager to know what is happening. You know, why aren't we how we were before? You know, why can't we talk through things? And I think like you would always be there if this person wanted to talk to you. And I think you're very much like, you very much are in that energy of like, I really want to help you. I want to nurture you. I want to take care of you. Wow, the High Priestess with intuition. That's crazy because you have psychic here and then you have High Priestess with intuition. Okay, I think you can definitely, just like with your own intuition, you definitely know that something is going on with this person, especially if you guys were, you know, if you were talking, or if you were dating, or if you had a good connection between the two of you, and then all of a sudden they just pulled back and they just stopped. I think like you can tell, I don't like the way that is. I think I like that better. I think you can just tell intuitively that like something is going on. And I think you really want to be there for them. You really want to help them. You want to talk to them about it. I think just energetically, you can really tell something is off, because their energy just changed. You know, it could have been just even been over the course of a couple days, like they started to pull back from you, or maybe even more instantly, they just pulled back from you. And I think you could definitely tell something was happening. So let's go ahead and see what is their current energy in this connection. Oh, it says I do. Four of Air, meditation, recuperation, contemplation. Four of Air is very similar to the Hanged Man energy. This is also a period of rest. Five of Angels. This is the Five of Swords. Four of Swords, Five of Swords with withdrawal. 444 on the time as I'm saying all this. Oh, that's so interesting, because we see with the I do, we see that they clearly do have feelings for you, you know, and I think that this person is interested in you, but it just feels like they really just took a step back for some reason. They really withdrawed themselves. They pulled their energy back, and I think that's what you felt like. Things were going good, and I think you know, you wanted to work on something, you wanted to work it out, but I think they could have just pulled back from you. But it's interesting because we see two dynamics here. We see that they do have feelings, they do care. It says I do, you know, but it feels like they're like, it's like a tug of war. It's like they do have feelings, but then they pulled back for some reason, or you know, maybe they're afraid to get hurt, maybe they feel like something was moving too fast. With your energy, I feel like you're the type of person that, and especially since you care about them, I do feel like you care in a romantic way. It does feel like you want to try again, like you want to put in the work. I don't think you want to just leave it as it is, you know? And I think that's why you're still kind of hanging around or hanging in there, or you're kind of like waiting for them to kind of come back around, because I don't think this is fully over for you. I think that you would definitely give them another chance, or you would definitely want to work through this. And you're just so loving and so sweet and so nurturing as well. And I feel like your feminine energy, that nurturing energy, is really coming out of you. And it's like, I can sense that they're not okay. I can sense that they need love, they need affection, they need, you know, whatever it is. I feel like you can sense that, and you just really want to take care of them. Like, that's coming through very strongly. I think this person could have either like needed a break, they needed to figure out what is going on, they needed to figure out where this is going, or it's like they really got afraid of something and they had to kind of just like take a step back. It's interesting because the Four of Swords talks about a period of rest, so it is a peaceful energy. We literally have a peace sign and a person laying on a blanket. But then the Five of Swords is mental conflict. So I feel like this person is definitely having some level of mental conflict about this situation. They're trying to like contemplate it, or they're trying to like find equal ground, or they're trying to like find out like, how can I not have this mental conflict about the situation. I do think they're trying to look for peace, and it does feel like the energy is more heavy on their side. I don't think the energy is that heavy on your side, because I don't think you caused the no contact or you caused the separation. I honestly think they just pulled back out of nowhere. So it does feel like energy is much heavier on their end. Let's see, what is the energy of the connection itself? We have the Tower, the number 16. Wow, and then we have releasing. This is literally the exact same energy. Releasing and the Tower. Okay, it does feel like it could have been sudden, you know, and I kept saying that, but I think the Tower does confirm to me now that the relationship did end suddenly, or it came to a pause very abruptly, very suddenly. Like, you didn't have an idea that this might happen. So I do feel like it could have been tough, you know, it could have been painful on your end. And I think that's why you're still kind of lingering around, because you might not have the clarity that you are seeking, because it ended so abruptly, you know, it just ended. Or their energy just pulled back out of nowhere, or something just shifted out of nowhere. And I do feel like this person has not given you all the answers. I feel like with them withdrawing their energy, they're not good at communicating how they're feeling, and they haven't told you exactly what's going on. And I think you are left to kind of fill in the blanks, like we said earlier. You are left to find clarity on your own. But you're very intuitive. Even that Hanged Man energy that you chose, it's a very intuitive energy. So I feel like you do understand, but it's still not okay. You know, like, you still want closure. You still want them to tell you what's going on. You still want to hear it from them. And that is what's going to make you feel better. So, you know, even though you're intuitive and you're picking up that something happened and they had to pull back, like, that's still not enough, because you still need that closure. You know, you still need them to tell you what's going on here. But it's so interesting because they do have feelings. You know, this person does have love for you. They have emotions for you. I just wonder, what happened that caused them to suddenly freak out or cause this mental conflict, cause them to pull back. It does feel like the relationship or the connection itself right now, it does feel like the connection is on pause. There is a sense of like releasing it, or it's kind of falling apart, or it's like it's not how it was. And it's not really there anymore. It's kind of like just up in the air is how it's coming through. And it does feel like a tough energy for you to deal with because, you want to be there for them, but I don't think they're allowing you to be there for them. I almost feel like you were not really given much of a choice but to release it, but to kind of give yourself that closure or to move on in some way. But I do think it's like you have left that door open for them. I think that if they were to reach out to you, you haven't fully closed the chapter on this person. I think you would still be open if they were to come back to you in some way. Very interesting. Okay, so that is the current energy of the connection itself. So now let's go in with the with the deck that you guys chose. And I want to now answer the rest of the questions that we have. Let me try to just organize this a little bit. $11:11, as I just looked up on the timer. That's interesting. I would have normally paused to kind of arrange my cards for a second, but for some reason Spirit was like, don't pause. And I didn't, and I saw 11:11, and I probably wouldn't have seen it if I did pause. Okay. You know what's so interesting? It just feels like, I don't know, like they either didn't, like, okay, it feels like this was a healthy connection, or you guys are very compatible because you're coming up as the King and the Queen of Wands. But it feels like for them, like either they thought it was too good to be true, they thought this was just gonna like hurt them at the end of the day, or it's like, yeah, it's like you were too good to be true, or the connection was too good to be true and they were just hurt, or they were afraid of being hurt, so then they just removed themselves from the situation before they could get hurt. Does that make sense? But then it sucks because they still have feelings. And I think that's what they're trying to figure out. Like, why do I have this mental conflict? Why am I upset? I thought I would be at peace. I thought this was what I should have done, but I'm not that happy. I'm not as happy as I could be. And I think they're so like they're trying to figure out why, why can't I get over it? Or why am I still overthinking it? Or why is there this mental conflict if I thought I did the right thing? Okay, so let's go ahead and see what was the connection like before no contact. Let's get a card here. What was this connection like before no contact for group 1? What was this connection like before no contact? We have the Queen of Wands. Bottom of the deck with the Ace of Cups. I think, what's interesting? I don't know why I wanted to say funny. What's interesting is I feel like this connection could have started up very quickly, because with the Queen of Wands, and especially that Wands energy in general, fire is very quick. It can be very kind of impulsive. It can be unexpected as well. And it's just like this very strong passion that you had between the two of you. And I think that before no contact, like there was a lot of passion. It was fiery. It was steamy. There could have been a lot of physical relations between the two of you as well. And I almost feel like maybe it started off that way. Like maybe it started off more casual, started off more flirty. There was a very strong physical attraction between the two of you. It could have been a sexual relationship at first, but just like casual, like nothing too crazy. But I think as you guys got to get to know each other, you realize that you are more compatible than it just being a surface level casual relationship. And maybe that's what scared this person, because they were like, wait a second, like I wasn't supposed to fall for group 1. We were just supposed to like have fun and move on with our lives, and that was supposed to be it. But I think the moment they started to realize, oh, like I actually could develop feelings for this person, they ran away from it. With that Ace of Cups here, because the Ace of Cups is showing me that there were emotions that were slowly being introduced into this connection between the two of you. And I do think that's kind of what made them nervous. Let's see, what were their feelings before no contact? What was this person's feelings before no contact towards group 1? We have the Knight of Wands. That's what I'm saying. Aries with the Emperor is fire. We have more fire here. So then let's see, what is their energy now after no contact? What is their energy towards, or their feelings towards group 1 after no contact? What is their feelings towards group 1 after no contact? There's that Three of Swords lingering in again. Interesting, you got another court card. You got all court cards except for the Ace of Cups. Okay. Before no contact, it feels like, again, that fiery, confident, outgoing energy. I think you guys definitely had good chemistry together. I am seeing like heavy chemistry, whether it was, you know, it doesn't have to be physical chemistry. It could be, but it could have been, you know, intellectual chemistry. Maybe you guys had excellent conversations. You guys like just did really well together in that sense. Or maybe you had a lot of the same hobbies and interests, so you would had a lot of fun together. It just feels like before no contact, there was a lot of fiery passion, energy, like there was a lot of excitement between the two of you, but it feels casual. Even with the Knight of Wands here, it feels like a more casual energy, nothing serious. Like that, or at least for this person, because this is their feelings before and after no contact. So for them, you know, while this was happening, it was like fun, flirty, exciting. It was like a thrill kind of a vibe. But then as the emotions were slowly introduced and they felt like, oh wait, I could actually like be compatible with this person more than whatever we're doing right now, I think then they had to set their guard up. You know, then they got into this King or Queen of Swords energy to where now they have to like, I'm hearing it as like thinking strategically, which it doesn't make sense, but it's this energy of like, okay, I have to be logical right now. Like, why am I feeling this way? Because to them, like now they're thinking logically. They're like, wait a second, I was just supposed to have fun with this person, but then now since I'm getting emotionally invested in them, I can't do that. So what do? I have to run away. Like to them, that's their strategic plan. That's them thinking, okay, this is what's going to solve everything, is that now if I run away from this connection and I, you know, set my boundaries, I cut this person off, I try to do the logical thing here, I don't get emotionally invested, it'll solve everything and I'll just run away and everything will be fine. That's what they are feeling after no contact. But I think that is what's causing them the mental conflict within themselves, because that's not how it works, you know? I think maybe they've done this before and it has worked before, but I do think there was something very special about you. I mean, the King of, or the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Cups is a very special energy. It's, you know, they thought you were very beautiful, very exciting, you know, you brought something very unique to their life that they did not experience with other people. So say if this is a guy and you're a girl, right? It just feels like your energy, your personality, your looks, the way you carry yourself, the way you are as a person, it's like they have never seen that in other girls. They just felt like you were so unique that it really caught them off guard. And I think at first they were like, oh, this is fun, like let me get involved with this person or whatever. But I think, you know, it turned into more of a romantic thing, and then they ran away from that. So then let's see, what are they going through? What is this person going through in regards to this no contact? What is this person going through in regards to the no contact? And it's so interesting with even the court cards that we see here. Before the no contact, while you guys were still in this connection together, they were running towards the connection, because we see they are in forward movement towards the connection, towards you. But then after no contact, you see how they have their back turned towards you. They have this wall up. They are trying to be strict with themselves, strict with the situation, and they are completely facing the other way. What is this person currently going through now during no contact? We have the Seven of Swords. There's so many swords energy that's coming out here, which is all about our mind. Let's clarify the Seven of Swords. What is this person currently going through during no contact? Oh, so interesting. So Seven of Swords, Four of Wands, Nine of Cups, Seven of Wands. What they're currently going through during this no contact is they definitely have some kind of like a fake facade thing that's going on. I think this person is really trying to like fight off the feelings. These are the feelings. All the wands that are sticking up down here, these are the feelings and emotions and thoughts they have towards you. And then this is them trying to fight it off. And I think that like on the outward appearance, or you know, if you have them on social media, or even just in their own outward appearance towards their friends, family, in their own world, you know, on the outside, they're really trying to seem like it is not bothering them at all. With the Four of Wands and even the Nine of Cups, I think this person is trying to just continue on in their life, continue just like as they were before, and trying to put on this happy face. With the Nine of Cups, you know, that shows me that this person is trying to make it seem that like all their cups are filled. They're trying to make it seem that they don't feel empty without you. They're trying to make it seem that they, you know, that they're just happy and happy-go-lucky person and life is back to normal and this relationship didn't matter to me at all. I don't care, you know. And even with the Four of Wands, and it's even interesting, there's like a couple on here. Because the Four of Wands can talk about like a happy home life, but it can also talk about celebration and just happiness in general. And it's interesting because there's a couple here, so it even makes me feel like they're, you know, even going out and dating new people. But I think like nobody is filling their cups the way that you did. You know, like once you taste something sweet and then you go away from it, or you taste something really good, and then when you don't have access to it anymore, you like trying to replicate that sweetness, or you're trying to like find it somewhere else, or you're craving it now because now you don't have access to it and it's rare, you can't find it, not every person is this sweet, you know. It's something like that. It feels like they are trying to just move on and just like find somebody else to fill their cups, but nobody can fill their cups the way that you did, literally. And I think they're really trying to like fight off the thoughts, fight off the feelings, tell themselves they're doing the right thing, tell themselves they have to be strict and be disciplined and not go back to you or whatever. But with the Seven of Swords, I do feel like there is a lot of mental conflict within themselves. And we saw that here too, because they care, they want to talk to you, they want to continue whatever they had with you, maybe even go deeper. But the mental conflict and this other side of them is not allowing that to happen. I do think that they are lying to themselves, because the Seven of Swords is a very dishonest energy. So I think to some extent they're not being honest with themselves, and then they're not being honest with people around them, or even in their image. Like they are hiding, they're intentionally trying to put up a fake facade. Okay, so then what would they say if they are honest with you? What would this person say if they were honest with you? What would this... Oh my God. I literally cannot make this up. I can't make it up. I can't. And it plopped out, the King of Cups plopped out twice. I already have him sitting right here. You know, if they were being honest with you, they would tell you, hey, I have deep feelings for you. I really care about you. I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to pursue something with you. I genuinely care. And I could even possibly be falling in love with you. And nobody fills my cups the way that you do. Like, that's what they would tell you if they were being honest. If they're being honest with you, and if they were being honest with themselves. They would also tell you that there is some toxicity within them. They have to heal certain things. They are chained to fear, or they're chained to some toxicity in their own life, which is what is keeping them running away from you. They're chained to fear. They're chained to fear of rejection, fear of heartbreak, fear of something repeating itself from their past. But it's like they want everything here with you. They want a relationship. But the devil on their shoulder is not letting them come forward right now. That's what they would say. Or it's not just right now, but they would say that's why they moved away from you. That's why they ran, because of the devil on their shoulder, even though they care. And we've been seeing this energy this entire time. that is what is going on here. Okay. So that is everything for our YouTube reading. So let's go over quickly what's in the extended. In the extended, we're going to see, will they reach out soon? And if so, when? We'll try to get a time frame, and we'll also see, like, what are they going to say, you know, if they reach out to you. And then we'll also see, you know, if they're not going to reach out, or if they're not doing anything about it, should you take action? Or will spirit take action for you guys? So that's what we're going to be looking at in the extended. The link to the extended will be in the description below. If if you're not interested in the extended, that's totally fine. I'm so thankful that you were here for the YouTube reading. I hope I was able to give you any clarity that you were seeking, maybe even confirmation, because with all of this intuitive energy on your end, I feel like you already know what's going on. So maybe I gave you some confirmation. But yeah, take good care of yourself, you guys. I do have a Patreon if you're interested in exclusive content where the viewers get to suggest the monthly readings. That is also in the description below. Go ahead and check that out. But take good care of yourself, you guys, and have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Hey guys, if you chose this Lover's card with the Lightseers Tarot and this Cat's Eye crystal, this is your group. Hello, group number 2. I'm going to set your crystal right there. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. And let's go through our breakdown for our reading today. So this is all about a no contact reading. Whether you were in a relationship with them, whether you were just friends with them, acquaintances, just somebody that you haven't heard from in a while, or you're just wondering what's going on with them, that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start off with who is coming through today, and that'll be your energy check to see if this is the person that you are thinking about, that you're asking about. If this doesn't sound like your person, then definitely check out a different group. So then after that, we're going to go ahead and see what is the current energy of the connection. So the energy right now when you are watching this, we'll see what is your energy, their energy, and the connection's energy as well. Then we will see what was the connection like before no contact. We will see what were their feelings before no contact and after no contact. We'll also see what are they currently going through, especially if you have no idea what's going on, what are they currently going through? And then we'll also see what would they say to you if they were being honest. And then we do have our extended today. In the extended, we'll see, will they reach out? Will they not? And if they will, we'll see, what time frames can we get about when they might reach out to you. We'll also see, should you take action, or will spirit orchestrate something between the two of you? So in our extended, that's what we're talking about, is any time frames about this connection and kind of like who is taking that next step towards each other. Okay, so let me move this over. So in our first part of our reading today, I have a deck here that I split up into 3 groups. We have the major arcana here, we have the court cards here, and then we have the rest of the deck here. So I'm going to get 1 card from each, and this will give us that overall energy of who this person is that you are asking about, or who is coming through today. Okay, I do want to say, with the lovers here, I love this image. I think it's very cute, very sweet. There's a lot of love here. So I think you could definitely have deep feelings for this person that's coming through. You could be in love with them. You could have a big crush on them. I think you're very, very infatuated with this person. You're very interested in this person. And I think you're very, very physically attracted to this person as well. But yeah, there's a lot of infatuation going on between the two of you, or at least from you to them, from what I can sense from that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So we're going to start off with the major arcana here. Let's go ahead and see who is coming. Oh my gosh, that was fast. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. These cards are very slippery. Okay, let's go ahead and see a card for the court cards of who is coming through today for group 2. The Knight of Cups. And then let's get 1 card from the rest of the deck of who is coming through here for group number 2. Okay, so the first thing that's coming through to me is that this person gets bored very easily, or they get bored very quickly. Or it's like they get bored doing the same thing for a long period of time. They like to switch it up. They like to just be doing new things, learning new things. They like to have new routines all the time, or just having different schedules all the time. I think that this person, if they were stuck doing the same thing forever or for a very long period of time, I think they just get bored very, very easily. And because of that, I also think this person has to like keep themselves entertained, or like they have to just be trying new things or doing new things because they just get bored so easily. I don't know why that just came through so strong for this person. I do feel like this could be a younger person because we have the Knight of Cups here, and then we have a younger looking individual here. So this could be somebody that's like, just younger in general, maybe even like not as mature as a person could be. I'm not saying they're immature, but I think they still have a lot of growth to do. They have a lot of evolving to do. This is giving like teenager, 20s, maybe even pushing 30s. But I do feel a strong sense of like they're just younger in some way, or they're just like not as evolved as maybe you are, or as they could be in general in life. We also have heavy water coming through with both of these cards here. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio is coming through very strongly. And then with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the 4 fixed signs. So we have Taurus, Scorpio again, and then Leo and Aquarius. So we have Scorpio coming out in all 3 cards here. And this is specifically Cancer. So we have Cancer, and then Scorpio, Pisces, and then we have the fixed signs here. I do think this person is like pondering life, pondering the greater meaning of life, especially with the Wheel of Fortune coming out here. I think this person is like really trying to figure out like, what am I doing? What is my life? Where am I going? I think this person is trying to like figure things out, and that's another reason it feels like they're still younger, because they still don't really know who they are, or they're still figuring themselves out. They're figuring out their own life, their own future, what they want to do for their career, or just like where they want to go next. I think this person is really pondering like, what do I do and where do I go from here? So I just don't think they have their life figured out yet. I also feel like they're like missing what's right in front of them. I don't know why that's coming through for some of you. It just feels like there could be like an answer right in front of them, or they have options in front of them, but they're not satisfied with that, or they are seeking something that they don't have. Maybe that's why they're a bit more frustrated, because it's like they don't want what they have, they want what they don't have, and they're trying to figure out, how do I get there, for some of you. It's interesting, both of these images have a person holding the cup with their hand. I'm not picking up the significance of it right now. Maybe it will come to me later on. I also feel like this is a person that's like, for some of you, again, this doesn't have to be for everyone. For some of you, this person could have had a lot of things in life handed to them, such as like from a wealthy family, generational wealth, or maybe their family or anybody, just just throughout their life, they were just handed things on a silver platter, or they were handed opportunities, or they were just handed stuff in life. I don't think this person has had to work very hard for a lot of what they have, and maybe that's why they're not satisfied, because they haven't really worked for things, or it's like they're seeking more. That's what it is. No matter how they got here, I think this person is seeking more satisfaction, or seeking satisfaction in general, because whatever they have in life, or whatever they have been given up until now, it has never really given them satisfaction. It's kind of just there. Or, instead of it being that this person had their life handed to them, it could also be that there was always expectations placed on this person, and they're trying to figure out like who they are, because they don't want to live with these expectations, or they don't want to follow like the family expectations or stuff like that. It's like they want to break free, they want to do their own thing. Especially with the Wheel of Fortune here, it feels like this is like a butterfly, or it's like a bird. Their energy doesn't want to be kept in a box, and maybe because of family, societal expectations, it just feels like for some reason they're being kept in a box, but their soul wants to go out of this box. Their soul wants to go and pursue something else, or they are just not finding satisfaction in this box that they're in. And the Wheel of Fortune, this is like a worldwide energy to me. Like it's it is literally the universe. It's vast. It's a huge energy. And I feel like that's just who they are as a person. That's just their soul. They are vast and they're constantly expanding as they are growing as a person. And because of that, I think they are very dissatisfied when they are kept still or when they are kept in a box. But I do think this person has a lot more maturing to do. They have a lot more growing up to do. But again, if they are just younger, which is how it's coming through, it makes sense that they're not fully evolved yet. There's also just this like something about traditions, or they're very like they don't want to follow traditions, or they just want to like do their own thing. Even when it comes to expressing themselves or their style, they want to like do their own thing. Like they don't want to follow societal styles or the trends or how their family wants them to dress or what their family wants them to do. It just feels like something, they're very like, they're not anti-tradition, but they're just like, they are just very unique. Their outlook on life is unique, their personality is unique, or the way they want to live is unique, and they don't want to be a part of, I don't know how to say it, like not the bandwagon, but it's like they don't want to be a part of what everyone else is doing. They just want to do their own thing. And this person, on a more spiritual level, this person could have some kind of a spiritual quest. 1111, as I'm saying this, they could have some kind of a spiritual quest that they haven't fully grasped it yet. Or they could have some kind of psychic abilities, or they're empaths, they're very intuitive. It's like there's something going on spiritually with their soul that they haven't fully grasped yet in the 3D, because they're still evolving, they're still growing. But I think their soul is more evolved. Their soul is, it feels like they're an old soul with the Wheel of Fortune here. It feels like they've lived many lives in the past, and maybe that's why they're pondering their current 3D experience, or they're pondering, what's out there. They're pondering all these like huge questions. But I think it's because their soul is so vast, and I think their 3D self is just slowly figuring it out, and they're just confused and they just want to find out more, if that makes sense. I do think with the Knight of Cups here, I think this is a very loving person. I think, they're a very good friend. They're a very good companion. You can probably talk to them about a lot of things. They're really there for you when you want them. You want somebody to listen to you, or they're just very loving and nurturing. They're very sweet. They do have a big heart. But it does feel like they're a little lost in life right now. Even this is making me think of a compass. They're lost and they're just trying to find their way, and they're trying to find out who they are and what they want and where they're going. This could even be somebody that doesn't really agree with the world or with society in general. An example that's coming to me is social media. Like this could be somebody who doesn't really have social media, or who's not too big on social media. It just feels like they're I wouldn't say they're an outcast, but they're coming through as like the black sheep of the world. Like it feels like the world and people are a certain way, and this person is just very different, and they don't find satisfaction in social media. They don't find satisfaction in all these like human things that people take part in nowadays. Okay, I think that's everything I'm seeing. If I get more about this person, I will definitely mention it. I'm gonna go ahead and get out the rest of our cards now. I'm getting the rest of my cards out, but I got a message of like they are an old soul, because we already talked about that. And I think people tell them they're an old soul, and I think they just have so much wisdom and they just know so much, but they don't know how. I don't think this person is spiritually evolved just yet, and I think that's why life can be a little confusing for them, because they just know all these things. They're just spewing wisdom all the time. They just have a different understanding about the world, about our life, about this earth that we live on, everything. But it's like they are not spiritually evolved yet, so it's like it's tough for them to figure out, why do I know all these things? Why am I like this? Yeah. Okay, and the more I sit with this energy, now that I kind of have the cards out and I'm kind of just sitting here with it, it does feel like some kind of a fated connection, because the Wheel of Fortune does talk about fate. It talks about destiny. It talks about something that is happening to you, and the universe is planning it to happen for you. So I almost wonder for some of you, because there is this magnetic like attraction between the two people here. So for some of you, it's also possible that you don't really know who this person is, or you haven't fully met them yet, or maybe it's like you're intuitively picking up on them, but you haven't fully like met them. You don't really know who they are, or you kind of have like glimpses or little interactions here and there with this person, but you don't really know them that well. Interesting. Okay, so let me move this aside, but I have them in case we need to look at them. So now we have our next part of the reading here. So this is going to show us the current energy of the connection itself right now. So we're going to look at your energy here. We're going to look at this person's energy here, and then we're going to look at the energy of the connection. Okay, let's go ahead and see what is your current energy towards this connection. So for group 2, we have, darling, this feels so right. That's cute. We have the Ace of Earth with abundance, opportunity, and resources. So this is the Ace of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, you have 2 aces. We have the Ace of Stars with creation, and I think the Ace of Stars is also the Ace of Pentacles. It looks like Pentacles. Wait, in this deck, angels are swords. No, Earth is Pentacles. Oh, this is the Ace of Wands. Okay. Even though it looks like the Ace of Pentacles, but that's crazy because you have 2 aces coming out as your energy towards this connection right now. So then let's go ahead and see what is their energy towards this connection. We have, that's the one. That's cute. We have balance with the number 14. Compromise, self-control, moderation. We have the Knight of Trees. The word says custodian, but I don't know what that means. So we just have Knight of Trees. That's interesting because this Knight of Trees is a very similar image to that 4 of Cups, where this person is kind of like hanging out in this position under a tree. And then, okay, let's go ahead and see what is the energy of the connection itself. And you guys actually got an extra card. Let me move that over. You got an extra card here. Oh my gosh, this came out twice. And like I was saying, for some of you, this feels like a fated event, a fated relationship, or for some of you, you don't really know them that well. You're kind of getting glimpses of them here and there. Or it could also be that like you're just picking up on their energy. Maybe for some of you, you don't really know this person, who they are in the real world, but it's like you're picking up on some energy. Oh, that's so interesting. And then we have the Page of Cups. Lots of cups. And then we have cleansing. I want to start off with this person here. So the person that we have been talking about, this is their energy towards this connection right now. So their current energy, they definitely have feelings for you. I mean, this card says that's the one. So it does seem like they have feelings for you, or at the very least, like they are interested in you, you know, and at the most, I think they definitely have good, like, deep feelings for you. And then it's interesting though, because we have Temperance here with balance. And then we have the Knight of Trees, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So these are both very slow energies. And it almost feels like this person doesn't want to overdo it. They don't want to move too quickly. They want to take their time with it. And it feels like they are interested in you. They feel like this has potential to some extent, but it's like they are not giving it they're not giving it 100% energy right now, because I think they are pondering their life. I think that's really what it is. Because even with this image here, with the Knight of Pentacles of this person sitting under this tree, and their head is illuminated here, it just feels like they're figuring out themselves. They're figuring out their life and what they're doing next and where they're going. And they almost like don't want to overindulge in something right now, because they're in this unknown period in their life. So it really feels like it's not personal towards you, but it's like they are just figuring it out. They don't know what's really happening in their life, kind of like that intro energy that we talked about. And they are interested, but they're trying to have self-control. It's interesting that word is here, self-control and moderation, because it almost feels like they don't want to hurt you, or they don't want to like string you along, because they don't know what's happening in their own life. You know, I think this person is very like level-headed, and they're very grounded in that sense, because I think, you know, if somebody doesn't have any idea what's happening, where they're going next, how long they'll even be here in this chapter, you know, I think they could totally like lead you on and totally like fall in love with you, or you fall in love with them, and then suddenly that falls apart because life changes. It almost feels like they don't want to hurt you, or they don't want to lead you on, because they know that in their own life they don't know what's happening next. They don't know if they are going to stick around long term. They don't know if a commitment or a long-term relationship between the two of you is what would work, because they have no idea what's happening either. This person could be moving soon. Maybe there's something about career or school or just environmental changes that they are planning, or that could happen in their future. You know, this even feels like, you know, like two young people that are having a good time together, that have feelings for each other, but maybe you're about to go off to school, go off to college, or start work, and there's just this unknown of, we don't know where we're going next. Like, we have feelings for each other and we don't know where we're going, but this person is more cautious about that, because I think they don't want to get hurt and they don't want to hurt you, but then this person is ready to dive in head first. Like, this person's energy here with darling, this feels so right, and both of these aces, especially the Ace of Wands here, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of excitement. You know, that fire has been lit for this person, and they want to pursue it with the Ace of Pentacles. They want to put in the effort, they want to put in the time. It feels so right to them, even though external circumstances might not be the right timing, or even if like there is this unknown going on in their lives, or even in this person's life. I think this person is saying, let's just do it. Like, it feels right. I'm excited. I have this passion here. I want to see where this goes, even though we don't know what's happening next. This person is saying, well, hold on a second. Like, let's be a bit more practical, because we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to start something that we can't finish. We don't want to get too deep into something. It's interesting because this feels more impulsive. Like, your energy feels more impulsive. You're just like, oh, well, this feels so right. Like, I really like you. Like, there's so much chemistry between us. Like, things just feel so good. I just want to do it. I just want to jump into it. And then this person is like, well, wait a second. Like, I have no idea what's happening in life, in my life or in your life, and we just need to take a second. Because, yeah, it could be like, maybe you're going away to different schools. Maybe like the future is unknown in some way here. And it's interesting because even with the Wheel of Fortune, there's no like set answer to the Wheel of Fortune. It is the unknown. So even the energy of this connection, it's like, it's fun. There are, you know, loving emotions here. I think both of you are curious about where this connection could go. Both of you are, you know, both of you want to try it out. I think both of you want to dip your feet into it, and you're curious, and Yeah, but there is this unknown of like, I don't know what's happening next. Now, I could also interpret this of if you don't really know who this person is, and maybe you're just getting glimpses of them, maybe you are picking up on them energetically, maybe it's some kind of like a soul connection and you don't know who they are, because I think we could totally interpret this in that same way of like both of you are picking up on each other or both of you are getting glimpses of each other. Both of you are interested. But I think this person is just a bit more cautious and it's like, okay, I can't really pursue that right now, even though I see this person, even though I'm interested in them. I don't want to pursue something or start something I might not be able to finish, even though they're interested. And then I think for your energy, you're very interested and you're just like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even care if what's happening tomorrow. I just want to have this immediate satisfaction now. It's funny the way this little kid is holding a book. You could be classmates, you could go to the same school, or see each other in some kind of a school environment and get very excited when you see this person. You have like butterflies and you're just like, I want it now. There's a very impulsive energy on your end. I definitely think you're very physically attracted to this person as well with this Ace of Wands here, and that's another reason you're just like wanting to just like do it. Like you just want to like jump this person because you're so physically attracted to them, or you're just so infatuated by them. And I think they are trying to be a bit more disciplined about how they pursue it, how they pursue this connection. So whether you know them, whether you don't really know them, and even if this is like an intuitive, like a psychic connection and you have no idea, you've never physically laid your eyes on this person, I still think energetically you're ready to jump into this. Like you're like, I can sense this person. It feels good. It feels like something I would be interested in. Like I just want to do it. And I think they feel the same way. Like they sense you. They sense your energy. They sense there is like this soulmate energy out there somewhere. And I think they're like looking forward to that and they're excited about it. But I think at the same time, they are just on the slower side of wanting to like find you or wanting to pursue you. But if you like saw them tomorrow for the first time ever, I think you would jump into it right away. I hope that makes sense. But there's a very sweet energy to this connection. And it's interesting that we have cleansing here for the energy of the connection itself. I think that this connection is meant to show both of you different things, or it's like it's meant to help you realize certain things about yourself. And I think maybe there's something to do with being a little bit patient here, or maybe about like, things will happen at the right time. We don't have to rush it. We don't have to like jump into it. We don't have to force it. It'll happen when it's meant to, with who it's meant to. And we don't have to, follow any impulsive urges or immediate satisfaction, because like it'll happen, right? So I think on this side, it's showing you that maybe you should just stay a little patient, or like it'll happen when it's meant to happen. And I think on this side, it's teaching this person how to plan for something long term, how to be more practical. I also think it's teaching them how to be patient too, because this is all about self-control and moderation as well. So it does feel like this energy is very like fiery and both people are very attracted. There's that magnetic pull that I was talking about earlier between the two people. And I think they are learning how to be a bit more calming in that sense, or how to kind of hold back in a way, or to like not give in to immediate satisfaction and do what is right for the long-term situation. So I guess in a way, both of you are kind of learning the same thing with this cleansing energy here, or like you're meant to kind of learn the same thing. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. So let me just make my piles here. Oh wait, what am I doing? Oh, I guess I'll set them up. I forgot what I did for group 1. Maybe you guys are young, because even in the intro I was getting like a younger energy, a younger vibe for this group. Okay, so now let me go ahead and answer all of our questions that we have here. So let's see, what was this connection like before no contact? What was this connection like before no contact? We have the moon. Interesting. Let me clarify the moon. What was this connection like before no contact? Huh. I think this could have been a very like 0 to 100 kind of an energy, you know, 0 to 100 real quick, because with the Eight of Wands, you know, that's what it reminds me of. It momentum, speed. Something is picking up speed very fast. And then even with the moon, like the depth of what you felt at a very quick, in a very quick time frame was a lot. I think there was a lot of depth to this connection with the moon here. Maybe it was a lot of like deep talks. Maybe it was a lot of like, you know, just it could be anything, whether it was physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. I think you guys reached some depth, you know, with each other in a very, very short period of time. And it's exciting. It's exciting. It was fun. It was like, yes, like, oh my gosh, like, you get me, I get you. Like, it feels like a very healthy dynamic. It just feels like something picked up very, very quickly. But you did a lot in a very short period of time with this person. Oh my God, you know what's so interesting? This could have even been, it also feels like a connection where you just met this person briefly and then you kind of had to walk away, because there's even this reminiscing right after that 0 to 100 really quick energy. It's like it almost immediately goes into reminiscing about the time you had with them. So like, for an example, is if you met somebody during a very short trip, or at the airport, or like studying abroad for just a week or 2 weeks. It's like, it feels like you met somebody where the time frame was very short. It just didn't last very long, but you literally went through like so many emotions, so many memories with this person, had such a great time with them in a very short period of time. Literally, it could have been one night, one day for some of you. Maybe you just like met up with them somewhere. You spent the whole day, spent the whole night with them, and then the next day both of you were gone. Could have been, again, if you were studying abroad. It does feel like there's some distance here. Maybe you went to go work somewhere and they happened to be there, but neither of you were going to be there long term. There's definitely distance almost immediately. It's like the connection didn't really get to reach its peak because it ended so quick. Or because you had to, you know, you had to part ways so quickly from them, to the point where you felt like, wow, like I really got to know this person a lot in a very short period of time. But then you also started missing them and started reminiscing about them right away. And I think they feel and felt the exact same way. Let's see, what were their feelings before no contact? What was this person's feelings before no contact towards group 2? Strength with Leo. And then let's see, what were their feelings after no contact? The Empress! And that's, oh my God, and there's the World! I was just talking about distance. I was just talking about traveling. There's distance between the two of you. This could have had to been a long distance relationship, or you met in a place where neither of you were going to stay there long term. You know, meeting somebody on a flight, on a cruise, on anything where you're not going to be there that long. And it's crazy, you got 2 major arcana for their before and after feelings. Before the no contact, I think they felt very good in your company. You made them feel safe. You made them feel seen. You made them feel heard. I feel like this person could talk to you about whatever they wanted to talk to you about. And they felt very safe with you. And with Strength and this Leo energy, they felt very like confident around you, or you made them feel more confident in general with other people. But it just feels like you brought out a side of them during your time together that, oh, maybe that's why we're seeing the Wheel of Fortune so many times too, because it's like you're so far away. And even that meeting would have been meeting by chance, because I said something about this seems fated. So again, if you're meeting somebody at the airport, on a cruise, on a 2-week trip, on a 1-week trip, on a one-night trip, like even any of these little interactions like that, that's all by chance. That's so crazy. Yeah, they felt very good. They felt very seen with you. They felt very confident, comfortable with you. You really got them. Like, you really got them as a person, and they could sense that. Like, they felt like, oh, well, like, this person really gets me. And I also feel like they could have been like a lone wolf kind of a vibe. Like, they weren't really into dating or into commitment, or they were single for a long time when you met them. Because after the no contact, I mean, they're first of all, it's the Empress. She is the divine feminine. They are missing you heavy. That's all they can think about is you. They're missing you so much. And they just felt like, wow, like there was so much potential there. We had so much potential for something more. So I think they heavily, like, they definitely have feelings. Literally, that's the one. We see that again. This is their current energy saying that's the one. They feel this with you. They feel like they could have this long-term, committed, stable relationship with you, but it just feels like circumstances are not allowing them to fully commit to it. But you would. I think maybe you would even be open to a long-distance relationship or something like that, and I just think they are a little bit more hesitant about that. What are they going through? What are they currently going through? What is this person currently going through in regards to this no contact? I think this person is very busy. We have the King of Pentacles here. We have the Three of Pentacles. Oh, the Two of Wands. Oh my God, Seven of Cups, Ten of Wands. I feel like this person is very busy, for one. I think maybe they just work a lot. Maybe that's another reason, whether you are in close contact or close proximity, whether you're far away from each other, whatever it is, it just feels like maybe that's why something was short-lived, because they weren't sticking around for a long time, or they're just so busy that they didn't have that time to give you all the time, if that makes sense. But it does feel like in their own life, like they're still keeping up with that busy schedule. They're still working a lot. But towards you, it definitely feels like they're heavily thinking about you. There's that world again. There's a globe down there. And even this makes me feel like they're at a window and they're just like, I wonder where they are. Or like, I wonder what they're up to, especially if there is a lot of distance between the two of you. But with the Two of Wands and the Seven of Cups, I think they're really pondering, what should I do? You know, this is about planning or forward movement and maybe choosing an option. And then the Seven of Cups is really about making a decision and feeling stuck and being in your head about the decision itself. So it does feel like they're pondering what to do next. They don't really know what to do next. They do miss you. They do think about you a lot. And they are still working, or they're still busy. So what would they say to you if they are honest with you? Oh, we saw this bottom of the deck too. We have the Ten of Wands. They would say to you that they are really busy. I mean, the Ten of Wands in traditional tarot, it's where the person has all 10 wands and they're slumped over and they're about to like fall over. It's about to be the straw that broke the camel's back. So I think if they were to be totally honest with you, they're like, yeah, hey, like I have feelings for you. I feel like this could have potential. I think about you all the time. I feel like you could be the one. I just don't know if I'm in the right place in life for a commitment like this. I don't know if I can give you what you deserve because of how busy I am, or because of how I travel a lot, or because of what I do, maybe for career, for school, or maybe where my life is taking me. They just feel like they just have so much going on and their life is unpredictable, and they just feel like that would be a heavy burden to place on you. but they really like you. They've always liked you, and they miss you, and they think about you all the time. This could also be somebody that's on the go a lot, because we have the person with their suitcase and the wands here. So it even feels like they could just be traveling a lot. Maybe they don't stay in one place for too long, and maybe that's how you met them. And now they're like, you know what? Like, I just don't think I could handle a relationship if I'm traveling so much, or if I have to do certain things on a regular basis. Aw, okay. That is everything I am seeing here. So now we're going to go into the extended, where we're going to see, will they reach out anytime soon? And if so, when? We'll also see, what will they say? We'll also see, should you take action? And then we'll see, will Spirit orchestrate anything, any kind of divine timing situation between the two of you? Okay. So the extended will be linked in the description below if that's something you're interested in. If not, that it's totally okay. I am so happy and so thankful that you sat through this YouTube reading here. So thank you so much. And I hope I was able to give you clarity or give you confirmation about this connection here. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I do have a Patreon if you are interested in exclusive content, and the viewers on Patreon get to suggest the monthly readings. So it's more personalized over there. If that's something you're interested in, the link to Patreon is also in the description below. Go ahead and check that out. But thank you guys so much for everything. Take good care of yourself. Have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Hey guys, if you chose this Sun card with the Field Tarot and this Amethyst chunk, this is your group. Hello, group number 3. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna set your crystal right there. Okay, we have so much to talk about for our reading today. This is the breakdown of our no contact reading. And like I mentioned earlier, this could be a romantic situation. I will say groups 1 and group 2, they were both romantic, like more romantic in nature. So I feel like this, the rest of the groups probably will be as well. But again, I'll do my best to try and filter out the messages if I can. But we're going to go ahead and see who is coming through today. So that can be your energy check for you to know if this sounds like the person on your mind. And then we're going to go ahead with the current energy of the connection. We're going to look at your energy, their energy, and the energy of the connection itself. And then we're going to see, what was this connection like before no contact? We'll see what are their feelings before and after no contact. We'll see what are they going through, and we'll also see what would they say to you if they were being honest. And then we have an extended. In the extended, we'll see, will they reach out? If so, when? Let's try to get a time frame. And one thing I did for the other groups that I didn't write down is that I also check out what would they say, kind of just like the nature of what they might say to you when they do reach out to you. And then we'll also see, should you take action towards this person, or will Spirit take action for the both of you? So all of that will be in the extended, but let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to move your deck over, make some more space here. So I have a tarot deck here, and I have split it into 3 groups. And it's going to be, this is all the major arcana cards here, this is all the court cards, and then this is the rest of the deck right here. We're going to go ahead and pull out 1 card from each group, and that will give us the overall energy of who is coming through today. And another thing that I noticed in maybe one or both of the other groups is like there could be something about their current energy that's also coming through with this, even though like this is intended for who they are. I think Spirit is also, if it is necessary, Spirit is telling us a little bit of like maybe what's going on in their current energy as well. But this is just supposed to be who is coming through today, and that way this can also be your energy check. And if this does not sound like your person, then definitely check out a different group. Okay, so let's start off for group 3. Let's start off with the major arcana here. Who is coming through today for group 3? Somebody could be very artistic. That's something I'm feeling with the Sun card that you guys chose. All right, who is coming through here for group 3? We have Judgment. Judgment is Scorpio energy. It can also be looked at as Aries energy too. So that could be significant. This is Leo, the Sun card that you guys chose. All right, let's get a cord card for who is coming through for group 3. Oh, 333 as I looked up, and we have the King of Wands, and I reacted and made a strange noise because I was like, oh, more fire, because we were just talking about Aries, and we're just talking about Leo, and then we have the Scorpio energy, and then King of Wands is fire, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius coming through again. Oh, okay. I'm already getting a message. Let's see. Let's get one card from the rest of the deck here for who is coming through for group 3. Oh my gosh. Who is... Oh my gosh. This deck. It has not done that for any of the other... for the other piles. Okay. It's definitely acting up a little bit. We have 2. We have Aries again with the 4 of Wands, and then we have Venus. This is specifically Venus in Virgo energy here with the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, let me try to adjust this. And this is also the first group that got an extra card at the same time. All the other groups did get 1 out at a time. So there was only 3, but you guys have 4. Okay. The first message that I was receiving, you know, at the very beginning when I saw Judgment and the King of Wands, especially with the way the King of Wands is looking at the Judgment card and it's facing in this direction, and even with the way they're holding their wand, you know, the King of Wands to me it's a bit of an egotistical character. So it almost feels like the way they're holding that wand and looking at this more spiritual energy, which is Judgment, it feels like they're kind of like fighting their spirituality versus their ego or practicality, or there's like some imbalance going on with this person. Now, this could be their current energy, but this could also be just how they are, maybe in general. Maybe this is somebody whose ego kind of does take over from time to time. With them holding with this wand here and it's like in front of them, it made me feel of somebody that's like really like standing their ground, somebody who is not budging, somebody it's like it's my way or the highway. That's like how that energy was coming through. And with Judgment being a very spiritually deep energy, this is, you know, the second to last Major Arcana card. This is pretty much like the end of some kind of a cycle, but it's a very deep, it's a very intense spiritual energy. It's all about surrendering. It's all about recognizing that there is some spiritual power, or there's some higher being, or there's some level of spirituality going on. And in Judgment, these people are surrendering to it. They are giving into it, or they're saying like, yes, I accept, or I see you, you know. But it almost feels like this person does not want to accept spirituality, or they does not want to accept their intuition, because they're very driven by their ego. They're very driven by just who they are as a person in the 3D. You know, I'll be honest, it is giving kind of like toxic masculinity for some of you. Doesn't have to be for everyone that's watching this, but it is kind of like borderlining into toxic masculinity. It almost feels like you would have a hard time like trying to rationalize with this person, or you would have a hard time like trying to get your point across, or just trying to even like explain yourselves to them, you know. It just feels like if they don't agree with you, it's definitely like their way or the highway. I don't know if there's much compromise with this person, and it just feels like an energy where it's really tough to like communicate with them, or it's just tough to like talk to them, just tough to like get your point across, maybe even like comprehension. Like maybe they're not able to like understand what you're saying, but it just feels like they just put up a wall. Like if they don't want to engage in something, they don't want to believe in something, they don't want to talk about something, it just kind of puts up a wall. But it does feel like there's a deep internal struggle that is going on with this person. Maybe they've always had this energy, maybe this is a more current energy, but it just feels like there's a deep internal struggle that maybe you don't know about, because it just feels like they don't show it. Their ego is very, very strong, and they do present themselves a certain way to the world, so you might not even know that like they're really battling this spiritual energy. Which is so interesting because it's like, how are you fighting with the universe? But it just almost feels like either they are dismissive of their intuition, they're dismissive of like certain things or certain traits, or I don't know. It's like kind of such an interesting energy that's coming through for this person. I also feel like this person is not very evolved because it's interesting that I mentioned that judgment is the second to last major arcana. I cannot remember the last time I've ever said that. And it just makes, and then the world card is the last card of the cycle, so that is completion, and then a new cycle begins with the Fool. It almost feels like with this being so close to completion but they're not there yet, it's like they haven't evolved the way they need to, or it's like they're unable to complete some kind of a healing cycle in their life, or it's like they're reliving some kind of a pattern over and over again. It feels like they're so close to ending some kind of a cycle, but their ego pulls them back, or the 3D, pulls them back. Their human ways pull them back for some reason. And it just feels like they're not evolving and they're almost going in circles. And I just feel this frustration that's coming from you, from group 3 that's watching this, because you you care about this person and you're trying to help them out, or you're trying to like get them to understand what you're going through, but it just feels like such a hard-headed, stubborn energy. Which is unique to this group. This is my first group where I'm getting a energy like this. I will say group 1 and group 2 were not like this. So since this is a very specific group, I almost feel like this is not going to be for everybody. So if already you don't think this sounds like your person, then go ahead and check out a different group, because I can already tell this is a very specific energy, maybe just for a select few people. I also want to say this is definitely an older person. This is not a young individual. I want to say this is like somebody that's like 35 plus, like going into their late 30s or older, because it feels like their age does not their age does not match their maturity in some way. Like they are old. They are an older individual in this world, in the 3D, but their lack of evolution, their lack of completion in, with whatever it is they need to complete, or however they need to mature in life, it just feels like it doesn't add up. But their age is a lot older. So you would think like, oh, this person would be mature in some way, but they're not. And that's another way for you to know if this is your group or not, because this is definitely an older person that's coming through. Like an older, masculine individual that still acts like a child. Again, very specific. Stop this right here if this is not for you. I just saw 1111 as I was saying this might not be for everyone. So definitely check out something else if that doesn't sound like your person. Now, this person is very, very, I will say they're very successful. We have literally Venus in Virgo with the Nine of Pentacles. We have success, celebration, happiness, status, a great public image with the Four of Wands here. So, and even this is Aries, and it just feels like this person has a very good public image. They present themselves very well, and they take their image very seriously, which is probably why many people might not know about, like, I almost want to say the demons that are like deep down within them, or like the struggles that they go through. It's like a lot of people don't know that internal battle that they go through, because they, like, their public image is like to a T. Like, they don't leave anything undone. They're always looking good. Their businesses are good, or their career is good. Their finances are good. They're always doing very well in the public eye. And even with this, they could have a lot of money. They could be very successful, very financially stable, lots of financial success. They could have some kind of a business. They could be, high up in some kind of a business or corporation or something like that. But at the end of the day, they're doing good for themselves. They have a good career. They have, a great status. They make good money. But it's like they've really got something going on deep down within themselves, within either their emotions, their mental health, their spirituality, something that was never healed. That's why I feel like, again, second to last in the cycle, it just feels like they were so close to healing some wound or working through some triggers or trauma or something, but they never fully completed it. And then they're carrying that energy into their adulthood. So now, even with relationships, I think relationships are very difficult for this person. This just seems like somebody who, again, it's their way or the highway. This also seems like the type of person that would complain that, like, they would like complain that people don't want to be in a long-term relationship with them, but then they complain as if it's somebody else's fault. Like, they've never once thought, is it me? Am I the problem? Like, do I need to work on myself? Am I pushing people away and nobody wants to be in a relationship with me? Like, I don't think they would ever, I don't think they're self-aware, because their ego comes in and their ego is like, no, there's no way, you're the problem. You're the best thing in the entire world. You got no issues. You know, their ego always comes in and tells them that it's always somebody else's problem. It's always somebody else's fault, that something in their life is not working out. And maybe they're like this in all aspects, you know, it doesn't even have to be just long-term relationships, but maybe in many aspects their ego tells them, oh, it's their fault, it's not your fault. But I do think specifically, I feel like this is somebody that's older and they have been single for a long time. This could even be somebody who's been divorced. Somebody that just cannot maintain long-term relationships, because I think on the surface level they look great, right? They're successful, they're probably very handsome or beautiful, because this person, this could definitely be a woman as well. I know I'm speaking about masculine energies, but this could definitely be a woman in the 3D. But again, women can also be egotistic. A woman could have the exact same traits we're talking about right now. And also a man could have these exact same traits. It just, instead of me saying toxic masculinity, it could just be toxicity in general. But yeah, this could totally be a woman as well. What was I gonna say? Yeah, it's like they can't seem to hold on to long-term relationships. Oh, what I was saying is, on the outside they look great, they're successful, they're financially stable, they're rich, they probably spoil you, or they like to spend money, they live like a very lavish lifestyle, or they just live a lifestyle to where you think, oh, this could be good, like I could get comfortable with this person, you know, we could be happy together, because everything, they check every box. And oh, I was saying they're very physically attractive, very physically beautiful, physically handsome. So yeah, on the surface, when you first meet them, it just seems like they check all the boxes for you. But then the deeper you get into getting to know them and you're breaking through just surface level, then it gets a little chaotic. I will be honest. It seems they would get a little chaotic with whoever this person is. Because this could totally be the Queen of Wands as well. You know, this could totally be a woman as well. There's also independence that is coming through for this person. I think they're okay with independence. They have a strong sense of independence. So, especially if they've been single for a long time, or if they don't get into long-term commitments, you know, it makes sense that they would be single and be able to take care of themselves. Interesting. Because Scorpio and Judgment is also about transformations. You know, that's what I'm saying. We're so close to finishing that cycle. We're so close to like actually going through with some transformation, some healing, some dark night of the soul, but we just are not making it there. Their ego is very, very strong. I almost feel like if you were to like talk to this person, it probably feels like you're talking to a wall from time to time, because you just cannot get your point across, or it's just like arguing with a brick wall. You're kind of going nowhere. Okay, let me get the second part of my cards out and I will be right back. Okay, I am back. I have all my cards. So this is from the earlier spread. I'm just going to move it to the side, but we still have it in case we want to go back to it at all. And I will say, I feel like by this point you should know if this is your group or not. So if, again, that energy check does not sound like your person, your situation, what you went through, or what you are going through with this person, then you should have clicked out by now. But if you're still here, then I think this is probably who you're asking about. So let's get right into it. So we're going to start off with the energy checks of the connection itself and what's going on right now. So this is your energy for group 3. This is their energy on their current energy towards the connection. And then we're also going to see what is the energy of the connection itself right here. So let's start off with your energy first, and let's see what is group 3's current energy. Make me believe. 8 of air, self-doubt, confusion, free will. 6 of hearts, the past. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty accurate to what I was already thinking would be your energy. So let's go ahead and see what is their current energy. It says, who am I and who am I being reflected? Okay. 10 of fire, overworked, stressed, imbalanced. What is it focusing on? I don't know. It's focusing on something, not the card itself. Maybe it was focusing on this image right here. Ah, the release with metamorphosis, number 13. Wow, this is the death card. It does not want to focus. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on this? Okay. Hopefully you can see. On my little viewfinder, it feels like it wasn't focusing on the cards when I was holding it up. Okay, this is really crazy because they are going through it. And I think that it's finally, like, something finally was triggered within them. Because with who am I? I mean, clearly they're going through some level of, like, what am I? Who am I? What the heck is going on? What have I done? I think, especially with the way this is being reflected, I do feel like it feels like somebody put a mirror up to them to make them reflect their own self back to them, for them to see, like, hey, you are a mess, or hey, you need to work certain things out, like you are not okay in certain aspects, or you need to heal. Like, I feel like somebody put a mirror up to them, and now they're like in total panic mode because they're just like, wow, like, I did that, like, that's me, I act this way, or, you know, I think they're having some realizations about themselves. And I do think that, like, this connection, especially now if you're in this separation with this person, I think something in this connection triggered this within this person. Because we literally have the death card with metamorphosis, and then the 10 of fire with overworked, stressed, and imbalanced. Wow, it's a pretty deep energy. This is like very, very intense. And I think with that judgment, I think they're finally getting there. They're finally getting to that realization. We were saying for so long they were so close to kind of like realizing something, or something triggering them, or something healing them, but I think it's finally there. And I think it's almost like this pit, like a tower moment. Like, it's like their world is falling apart. Something is being shattered within them, and I think they're realizing, hey, like, something needs to change. And even with the 10, this is the end. You know, the 10 is the last card, and then it starts over with the 1. So it does feel like they've hit their max in some way, or they've hit some kind of a trigger. And it feels like a domino effect. It feels like because this happened, now everything else in their life is spiraling out of control, and they are going through some kind of a awakening, some kind of a reflection situation about who they really are. Something is being triggered and something is being healed. But I don't think the healing process has started yet. I think in their current energy, they're more of in like a freak out mode, because I think their world is slowly falling apart, but they haven't started the healing. You know, when it's like something's falling apart and that has to happen first, and then we have to kind of like accept and like understand and comprehend that something fell apart, and then we start to heal. Because there's like the chaos, and then there's like the sadness, heartbreak, reminiscing, thinking about it, and then there's like that slowly healing part of it. I feel like they're still here. They're still in the chaos. I mean, doesn't this just look like the most chaotic energy you've ever seen? With the 10 of, please focus. With the 10 of fire, I mean, that is a very chaotic energy. And then even this looks really spooky. So yeah, their life is really chaotic right now. Now, your energy, you are definitely detached. I feel like you are definitely more in the healing stages of something. I think you do know who this person really is. You do realize that, like, they were not meant for you. You do realize that they're probably not going to change anytime soon, especially with Make Me Believe. You could have given this person multiple chances in the past, and maybe that's something that's triggering them because maybe you always went back to them, or maybe people would always go back to them. People would always give them another chance. So maybe you standing your ground and saying, like, hey, I'm done with you. I'm not keeping up with you anymore. I think that could have definitely been a trigger for them to realize, oh, wow, like, that's it. Like, they're not coming back. It just feels like their ego was hurt in some way, and then everything else started unraveling in their life. Like, you know, when you pull on a thread and everything else gets unraveled, that's kind of what it feels like for them. But it feels like for you, you're not really in the mood to give them another chance with Make Me Believe. You're like, I have to see it to believe it. I have to see the change to believe you're going to change. I have to see it to believe that you are this person, or that you can change, or whatever. I feel like you're not really in the position to give them another opportunity, or I don't even think you believe the lies or believe the whatever, you know, like I think when you first met them, or at one point in time, you got swept away, you know, because oh wow, they're saying all these amazing things. But I think as you experienced them, you're like, nah, like I'm not gonna just believe you anymore, you know. But you are human, and I think at the end of the day, with the Eight of Swords here, I think you are battling yourself in a way, because you know this person's not going to change, or you know deep down that this is not the person for you, that you deserve better. But I do think to some extent you're wondering, like, why did this happen to me? Like, did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? So I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, even though we can rationalize and say, yeah, this is like a person that has so many issues on their own and they have to work through so many things, and that it really wasn't me the entire time. I think we're still human. So we're still going to think, oh, did I do it? Is it my fault? Could I have done something differently? Could I have avoided this? Spirit is saying, no, you could not have avoided it. And I think that this definitely feels like a fated event, because it feels like somebody needed to pull that thread for this person, for everything to unravel. And you just happen to be that person to pull that thread. And Spirit is saying, like, somebody needed to do it. It was going to happen at some point in time, because they can't keep living this facade for the rest of their life, especially if they're already older. You know, it's like they can't keep getting away with it. Somebody had to pull that thread. It just so happened to be you. And I think this is a moment where you need to show yourself more compassion, more love, more understanding, and really just remember that it was not you. You know, you did what you had to do, and Spirit, in a way, like this connection, like you were meant to do this for them. But I think that's it. I don't think you're meant to stick around. I don't really think that this was meant to go anywhere other than for you to teach them something, or to hold that mirror up to them and say, hey, look at your reflection, look at yourself, and work on yourself. Even with the Six of, this is what is confirming to me that to you, you know that you have to move on, and you have to move on without this person, because the Six of Hearts with the past here, this is the Six of Cups in traditional tarot, and with the past here, and the way this woman looks very at peace. And even this is making me think of her third eye is illuminated. Like, she understands that there is something much deeper going on here. Or this person here understands that there is something much deeper going on, and it's not something they did, you know? So it does feel like to some extent you are at peace, but you are healing through it. So I don't think you're 100% healed from this situation, especially if you're watching this. I think you are seeking for some confirmation that maybe you made the right decision, or you are moving in the right path by moving away from this person. So yes, that is true, you are. But it does feel like you're still healing, even though you know that you're walking away. Let's see, what is the energy of the connection itself? We have the Four of Swords. Oh my gosh, and then we have do nothing. which this is the exact same energy. So that's very interesting. Yeah, there is no forward movement in this connection right now, and literally spirit wants you to do nothing. This is not the right time. And this void moon is traditionally looked at as void of course moon, meaning like nothing's going to happen. There's no point in doing anything. There is no forward movement. This is a moment to be still, and it's a moment to reflect on your own and to do your own healing and to work on yourself, because the connection itself, there's nothing going on. With the Four of Swords, this is a period of rest. So spirit really wants you to heal. They want you to really go within and, you know, work on yourself. Just leave this person to who they are, because clearly they're in a much more chaotic energy than you are. It like, remember, you know what's so crazy? I use the word demons and I never use that word. I kind of actually hate that word as a reader, as somebody who believes in this side of the world, in spirituality, in channeling, like somebody who does this. I hate using that word. I don't even want to repeat it because I hate it. But it's crazy that I said it, because the moment I said it, I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, why did I just say that out loud? Because I don't use that word. But it's crazy because doesn't this kind of look like the D word? Like, it looks terrifying. So I do think that, like, this person, it's not that they're just triggered and they're just sad. They are literally facing the own whatever is going on in their life. Like, they're really going through it. And Spirit is saying, let them deal with that. It's not your place. It's not your fight. It's not your mess to clean up. You need to just walk away, focus on yourself, and do nothing when it comes to the connection itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and answer all the questions that we have. I'm very interested to see if this person will ever, if they're going to reach out to you, because that's what we're looking at in the extended, and I'm very curious, because I wonder what, if they do, I wonder what they're going to say, and I wonder what Spirit's advice for you is, because clearly, you know, they, as of now, they don't want you to give in. But yes, for the Four of Swords, it is a period of rest. There is not much going on with this connection. So let's go into the deck that you guys chose. And it's interesting that you chose the Sun, because the Sun is all about hope. You know, it's about happiness. It's about hope. It's like, I really wanted something to work. I really put time and effort into this so it can work. So it's like a little disappointing, I'm sure. Okay, let's see, what was this connection like before no contact? What was this connection like before no contact? For group 3, what was this connection like before no contact? We have the Star that kind of flipped out. Let me clarify. Hope, yeah. That's exactly what I was just feeling. The Star and 7 of Wands. Before no contact, I do think it was still could have been a little bit of a chaotic situation. I feel like you have to fight for it. Like, you have to fight to prove your worth, or you have to like fight for something. I don't know what you were fighting for. I don't know if you're fighting with them, but it just feels like a chaotic energy. 7 of Wands is a bit chaotic. You have to like defend yourself, stand your ground. Like, it just feels like too much, you know, like too much. But with the Star, I do feel like you felt like there was hope, or maybe you felt like if I just fight a little bit longer, if I just keep up with this person a little bit longer, it'll work out. They'll change. The connection itself will change. But I think, you know, time and time again, you realize, no, like, I am losing that hope. I am losing this battle. And it's interesting, earlier I said, Spirit was saying, like, it's not your fight. It's not your battle. This person, it's not your mess to clean up. It's not your fight. But I do feel like even before no contact, I feel like you're at peace now. Because even this image and this period of rest, like, you're actually at peace now after the no contact. Because before no contact, it was chaotic. There could have been fighting, arguing, you know, it was conflict. But at the same time, trying to give benefit of the doubt. Trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Let's see. What were their feelings before no contact? for group 3. What was this person's feeling towards group 3 before no contact? What was their feelings towards group 3 before no contact? Ah, caught it. 7 of Pentacles with perseverance. Was that in the reverse? Let's see. What was this person's feeling after no contact towards group 3? Okay, so before no contact, and look, oh my god, look at that tower. 4 of Wands in the reverse, 10 of Swords. That's interesting. I hope I mentioned the tower moment earlier, because I was definitely thinking about it. I can't remember if I did mention it or not. I mentioned the string analogy, which I've never used that before, but essentially it's very similar to the tower moment. So I feel like before no contact, for this person with perseverance here, it just made me feel like I'm just doing it to do it. Like I'm just keeping up with it because it's what I have to do, or it's what is expected of me. It just feels like a routine. It doesn't feel like there was anything special about it with this 7 of Pentacles here. I feel like their energy before no contact was, this is a routine. I'm just going to keep up with it. And it's interesting because I think after no contact, and it's crazy because, again, I'm not really seeing love. Like, I don't see a lot of emotions from this person to you. I see that you had more emotions towards them. Like, you had more feelings, more love. Like, you really cared about them more than they cared about you. And so it was a routine. They were just like, okay, 9 to 5, let me get on with this relationship because that's what's expected of me. And I think after no contact, at first, they were like, okay, great, this is what I wanted. Like, I wanted to be free. I wanted to leave this situation, and now I can finally live my life how I want to. Like, that was their mindset going into this no contact. Because to them, it almost just feels like it just wasn't important for some reason. And it's so sad because it's like, you, group 3, like, you don't deserve that. You deserve somebody who loves you, who will be there for you, who will give you exactly what you're giving them. But they were honestly kind of happy, I think, at first, because with the vision, the 3 of Wands is all about expansion. It's all about that next milestone, that next chapter. I think they definitely thought it would be easy for them to move on, and they were just like, yeah, like, I'm just gonna move on with my life, no big deal. And they thought their life would be easier. But what's so interesting that we see is the 6 of Swords in the reverse, and the keyword transition in the reverse, and then we have the Tower. So no, like, they were not really able to just move on from it. I think this is something about this connection here broke the chain for them. I think maybe in the past they were easy to move on. They were quick to just like dump people or like not care about relationships and only care about themselves and just move on in their life. But I do sense that something about this connection with you caused that Tower moment. And we see they're going through something crazy. But it's like something about this and moving on from this caused their world to fall apart, caused it to unravel. And they're not really able to have that peaceful transition moving forward that they wanted. They thought this was going to be easy peasy and they're going to be out by noon tomorrow. But it's not. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like this is triggering that very intense energy within them. But it's not your fault. And it's not your problem. I don't know why I keep repeating that, because maybe you really want to help them. You want to be there for them. You're like, let me take care of you. Let me nurture you. Let me help you. But Spirit is really saying over and over again, like, this is not your fight. This is their problem to deal with. It's not your place to do anything for them. It's almost like they have to clean up their own mess. Maybe they've had other people clean up their messes their entire life. They have to clean up their own mess. And that's interesting because this 10 of Wands card is literally the biggest mess I've ever seen. And Spirit is saying they have to clean up their own mess for them to actually learn. Okay, let's see, what are they going through? I feel like we've already talked about this a lot, but let's just get one more card to just see anything about what is this person currently going through. we have the Prince of Swords with determination. So this is the Knight of Swords. I do think there's a lot of mental conflict. We have Strength in the reverse, bottom of the deck. We have Deception, Seven of Swords upright. I do think there's a lot of mental conflict with this person, and I think that this person is not very good with their emotions, or I don't think they've ever been emotionally like stable or emotionally intelligent, because even now with Strength in the reverse and Deception with the Seven of Swords, this is very much an energy of just being deceiving. And I think that like on the outside, they're trying to act like everything's okay and they're fine and they're just moving forward in life, like no big deal, nothing's happening. But I think on the inside, they really are unraveling, but they're very good at not showing it on the outside. But I do think there is a lot of mental conflict going on within themselves. And I don't know. I don't know how they're going to deal with it, especially if they're like not even being honest with themselves, that they're literally falling apart. But yeah, that's kind of what they're going through. On the outside, they look fine. On the inside, they're literally going through probably the worst triggering situation they've probably ever been in. So what would they say to you if they were being honest to you? What would this person say to group 3 if they were being completely honest? What would they say to group 3 if they were being completely honest? Ah! Oh my gosh. Cards are just flying in this group. I just dropped a whole bunch on the ground. Okay. What would they say to group 3 if they were being completely honest? What would this person say to group 3 if they were being completely honest? Oh, wow. Introspection with the King or the Prince of Cups. Wow. I mean, they would tell you like, hey, I'm going through it and it's making me realize a few things. I think they would also tell you they're like, again, because we said they're holding something's holding a mirror up to them to show them who they really are. I think with this introspective energy, they would tell you like, hey, I wasn't the best person. Like I've seen or I've realized certain things about myself that I didn't realize before. And I realized that I wasn't that good of a person. Let's see, anything else they would say? And they would definitely say that they are, it's interesting, they're in like the same meditative pose. They would say that they are slowly, like, they're unraveling clearly, but they would say that they're slowly trying to go within and to fix the problem or to heal for the first time. They're trying to like actually like do something about it because it's too painful to just put a band-aid on it. It almost feels like years of trauma, years of unhealing, years of never completing that cycle. That cycle they've just been repeating. It just feels like it all just fell down on them at once. So that's why it feels like a very intense energy. Anything else they would say to group 3 if they were being totally honest? Anything else? Six of Wands, it has a keyword success, and then we have the Prince of Discs. So this is the Knight of Pentacles with reliability. They would say that they're not what they seem on the outside. Look, there's that Judgment card again. This is the card you got at the very beginning. Like, they would say it's not what it seems on the outside. And they would say they are working through something pretty deep right now, especially with success in the reverse. It's like on the outside, things look fine, but I'm really not okay on the inside. And they would also say that like they're just not able to move forward, which is why they have to work on them. So it's like Spirit is not giving them a choice. Spirit is like, you have to heal. You have to work on yourself. You can't live your life like this anymore. So that's what they would tell you. Okay, so that is everything for our YouTube reading. So now in the extended, we're going to see, will they reach out? which I am so curious about if they're going to reach out or not. And if they do, we'll see what will they say. We'll also try to get a time frame of when they might reach out to you. We'll also see, should you take action or what should you do about this situation? And then we'll also see, is spirit going to do anything? Is there any, divine orchestration going on here as well? So that is all in the extended, but if this is where I'm leaving you, that is totally okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Again, very specific rating, probably just for a handful of you that stumbled upon this video, but thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your support. I do have a Patreon if you're interested in exclusive content where the viewers on Patreon get to suggest the monthly readings. So if that's what you're interested in, go ahead and check it out. The link is in the description, and the extended is also in the description below. But thank you guys so much. Take good care of yourself. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey guys, if you guys chose this awakening card with the Muse Tarot and this green budstone, this is your group. Hello, group number 4. Gonna set your crystal right there. Let's go ahead and look at the breakdown of our reading today. So this is a no contact reading, like I mentioned in the intro. We're gonna go ahead and start with the energy check to see who is coming through, and if that sounds like your person, then definitely stick around. But if this energy check of the person does not sound like who you have in mind, then definitely check out a different group. We're gonna go ahead and look at the current energy of the connection. We'll see what is your energy, what is their energy, and then we'll also see the energy of the connection itself. We'll go ahead and see what was the connection like before no contact. We'll also see what were their feelings before plus after no contact. We'll also see what are they currently going through, and we'll see what would they say to you if they're being totally honest. And then we do have an extended today. In the extended, we'll see, will they reach out soon? If so, what are they going to say? Or we'll also try to get some timelines on when they might possibly reach out. We'll also go ahead and see, should you take action towards this person? Or, what is the advice for you regarding this? And then we'll also see, will spirit orchestrate anything between the two of you? So yes, there is a lot to talk about. Let me move this over. I do feel like with this awakening card, for some of you, this is the judgment card. I do feel like you could be realizing something about this connection, some kind of like an awakening or some kind of realization that you've had on your own about this connection could be important to you, or maybe your own healing. I also feel like maybe your own personal growth that comes after this connection is over, or like during this separation or something. It does feel like you could be growing and healing and becoming self-aware of who you are, or just like there's just some self-growth journey that I feel like could be happening for you during a no contact with this person. Okay, I have a tarot deck that I split up into 3 groups. This is the major arcana, this is the minor arcana, and oh no, this is the court cards. Sorry, major arcana, court cards, and then this is the rest of the deck. So we're gonna go ahead and pull 1 card from each group, and that way this will give us that overall picture of who this person is that's coming through. And one thing I've noticed for all 3 groups now actually is that Spirit did give us a little message of what they are currently going through as well. So this could talk about their overall personality and who this person is, but it could also give us a little bit of maybe what's going on in their current energy right now as well. Okay, so let's get right into it for group number 4. Let's see, who is coming through for group 4's no contact reading? Who is coming through for group 4's no contact reading? We have the Fool. Who is coming through for group 4's no contact reading? We have the Fool, which is Mercury energy, and this is also the first card in the major arcana. We have the Knight of Wands, which is fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I just saw 3, 4, 5 on the time as well. And okay, and then we also have the 10 of Wands, which is specifically Sagittarius energy. Okay, I do feel like a current energy that I am getting about their like current situation in life is that they're definitely about to have some kind of a new beginning in their life. It does feel like they were a little burnt out or overwhelmed or just kind of had enough of something that they were doing. So this could have been career, this could have been lifestyle, this could have just been any type of a baggage or anything that just became too much for them. It does feel like they might be walking away from something in their current life to have some kind of a new beginning, to have a fresh start in their life. I also feel like this could be somebody that went through a lot in their life in general. With the 10 of Wands here, it feels like, they could have just, their life could have been tough growing up, or they could have just had a lot of burdens from a very young age. That's coming through really strongly here for this energy. But it does feel like they're very optimistic. It does feel like no matter what they've really gone through, I think this person is always ready to have some kind of a new beginning. They're always very positive about life. It's like they don't allow the negative things that have happened to them to really define who they are. That's so interesting. I feel like I recently did a group where I had this exact energy. It wasn't in this reading though, it was a different reading, but it was like this exact same energy that I'm sensing here. With the Fool and the Knight of Wands, this is definitely giving me like somebody who is very, they're very go with the flow. They're a free spirit. They're very adventurous, spontaneous. They're very fun to be around. I also think they're very confident in who they are as a person. But it's interesting because they've really been through a lot in life. So this could have been, any type of childhood trauma or anything in life that caused them a lot of pain or sadness. It's like they've been through a lot, but they're still very positive and very optimistic every day. They're also very good at like leaving the past in the past. I feel like this is not somebody that carries past baggage into the current energy. It's like whatever has happened, they just like go through it and they heal, or they just do what they need to do in the moment, but they do end it. They do end that situation, and then they have this clean slate, this new beginning, and they don't bring the past into the future. So they're very good at like, detaching themselves from situations. They're definitely a free spirit. They love adventures. They love to have a good time. I definitely feel like they could be spontaneous, maybe even impulsive in life. I think they're also very cute, very charming. They're very flirty. They have a way of word with their words. They also probably have a very nice smile and like very pretty eyes, very nice facial structure. It just feels like they have a very nice face. But they also have like this childlike energy to them, or it's like they're very youthful. So even if they're older, they could look younger than they really are, or they just have a very nice skin. They have a very youthful face, but it just feels like they have such a beautiful smile. And like anytime they smile, it just like you can't help but like smile back, or you can't help but like melt a little bit on the inside. I also think this is a very friendly person. They're very outgoing. People just gravitate towards their energy. And it's interesting because I feel like they do have like two sides to them. They have their extroverted side, but they also have their introverted side. And they definitely want that alone time. They definitely want that time to reflect, want that time to be alone. But then they also enjoy going out and, chatting with people, making new friends, or just like hanging out with people, or just being like extroverted in that sense. But I feel like they definitely have both of those qualities to them. It's so interesting. One thing that's coming through very specifically is like they don't really like drama. They don't like to keep up with people that have a lot of drama. They don't really like to gossip either. I think this is a very respectful person. Whether it's a guy or a girl, this is giving very gender neutral. Even though we have the Knight of Wands, it's very gender neutral. I feel like I'm not really getting guy or girl. Whereas for, I think, group 1 and group 2, I felt like it could have been anybody. Or, I mean, it could have been a guy, or like it was specifically masculine, I think. I can't remember now. These readings are so long, they're all running together. But some groups, it was definitely like I could tell if this was a man or a woman, masculine or feminine. But in this one, I think it could be 50-50. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? I was saying something. Oh yeah, they don't like drama. They don't like drama. They don't like to gossip. And I do think they protect their energy. It's because they've been through something pretty deep, pretty intense. Maybe they don't show it off, they don't wear it on their shoulder. You would never know that they kind of went through something in their life, but it does feel like they don't want their energy drained. That's how it's coming through. They protect their energy and they stay around people that uplift them, that are positive, that are happy, that are everyone's having a good time. And I do think they stay away from anybody that would drain their energy. They have such like a bright soul. Like they're just so like there's just like this bright light when I'm like seeing this energy, when I'm thinking about this energy here. They're just so positive and optimistic. And it's like no matter where they go, there could be like this like invisible spotlight that's on them because people just know them, recognize them, acknowledge them no matter where they are. This could also be the type of person that just looks good 24/7, like no matter if they're in their PJs, if they just rolled out of bed, if they actually put time and effort into their appearance. I think no matter when in their everyday, I think they always look good. They just have like a natural beauty about them. They just have this natural, yeah, they're just so handsome or so beautiful in just such a natural way that even if they just wake up in the morning, you're just like, how do you look good when you just got out of bed? I think also because they could have gone through something in life. Okay, so that very first message I said, where I was like, maybe that's more of their current energy, that they're starting some kind of a new chapter, that could be true. But I think the more I sit with this, it feels like this is just their energy in general. So, maybe that might not be accurate for everybody. I think for some of you, maybe they are starting some kind of a new beginning right now in this current energy, but in general, it does feel like this is just their outlook on life. They're just very positive, very optimistic, 1111 on the time. And I think this 10 of Wands was just something that's happened to them in their past at some point in time. Because they're just so happy all the time. It's like, it's such an interesting energy. I was about to say something and I totally forgot. But they're always like down to have a good time. I think this person loves to adventure. They could also love to travel. They could love to try out new things. They would love to put themselves out there. I don't really think they get nervous, which is interesting because I think they're very confident as a person, as who they are. So I don't really think they get nervous. I just think they need their alone time from time to time. I don't think that they could be social and extroverted 24/7. I think you always have a good time with this person. There's just some people out there in the world, whether it's friendships, romantic, whatever that the relationship is, it's like you always have a good time because they're just so fun to be around. I also feel like this person could pull you out of your comfort zone. They could help you have a good time. They could help you mingle better. It's like they just really pull everyone out of their comfort zones when they are around people. I also feel like they treat everybody equally because they have also been through something pretty heavy themselves. They treat everyone equally. Like they don't favor one person over the other, and I think they view everyone equally. They don't have prejudice towards like any person or any lifestyle or any choices. It's like they are very much like one love, one peace. You live your life, I'll live my life. They could also have a dog or a cat or pets that they live with. This also feels like a very independent person as well. I think their independence is very important to them. And maybe they do a lot of things alone, or like just maybe solo traveling, or just, putting themselves out there alone, doing things by themselves. They could even live alone for some of you. I think their independence is coming through very strongly. Wow, I think they're a very like well-rounded individual. It's interesting because normally if I see the Knight of Wands, I always kind of assume the Knight of Wands is kind of egotistical or maybe like an F girl, F boy kind of a vibe, somebody who only really cares about themselves. But and it's interesting because they might look like that on the outside, or they might look like they might be a certain type of. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. My camera totally died on me and I didn't even realize. But okay, what I was saying is, on the outside, they could look like they're a certain type of a way, just like stereotypically, I think people assume they would be a certain type of way because of the way they look. But I think as you would get to know this person, you would realize they're actually so sweet, so down to earth, and very different than, you know, the first impressions that people have of them. I also feel like this reading does not have to be romantic. This totally feels like, you know, it totally feels like a friend, a family member, anybody. It could be any type of a connection that you have with this person. So this does not feel like it has to be romantic at all. I feel like you would love to like be good friends with this person. You would love to have some kind of a connection with this person, and yeah. So definitely doesn't have to be romantic. Okay, I think that's everything. So we have Sagittarius out here twice. So there could be something about like different cultures. And my cat is going crazy. There could be something about different cultures, or like a worldwide view of things, or traveling, or something like that. This person could be of a different ethnicity than you, a different culture than you, or there's just something about them. They really love different cultures. They love different languages or different foods. This could also be the type of person that watches a lot of TV shows in a different language with like subtitles on or stuff. Okay, I think that's everything that's coming to me. If I get more messages, I'll definitely let you know, but it feels kind of straightforward with this energy. So let me get the rest of my cards out and I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so here we are for the second part of our reading. So if you felt like the initial energy check resonated with you, this does sound like the person that you are thinking of, whether it's romantic or a non-romantic relationship. But if you resonate with it, then we are getting into the second part. So now we're going to look at the energies, you know, more specifically. So we're going to be looking at your energy here. This is going to be their energy on this side. And then this is the energy of the connection itself. And actually, this is the first group to get like extra cards. Like this is an extra one. This got an extra one here. So I guess there's a lot that wants to be said. So let's go ahead and look at the energies. So let's start with your energy. So this is group 4's energy. It says the feeling is mutual. Two of water, partnership, commitment, reconciliation. Okay, I guess for some of you, this could definitely be a romantic connection. For those of you, if this is not a romantic connection you're asking about, but it still resonates with you, then, you know, I will do my best to give examples for that as well. The Two of Water, this could also just be like a best friend, a soulmate connection, like soul family connection as well, but it could definitely be romantic, partnership, commitment, kind of an energy. And then we have the Queen of Hearts with Sixth Sense. This is the Queen of Cups. Oops. Okay. So then now let me go ahead and see what is their energy. Okay, I'm gonna have to move stuff over to make more space. So they actually got 2 cards. So let's see what is this person's energy towards group 4. It says it still hurts. Oh, it says cuddles, please. So I guess if this is romantic, you can, you know, interpret that way. I guess if you cuddle with your platonic friends, then maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Take that however you want, but that does feel more romantic to me. The Hermit, introspection, self-discovery, mentorship. Okay, I think I understand what's happening. Oh, we have the Eight of Hearts with codependency. First of all, I do think the feelings are mutual. I think both people are definitely interested in each other. It does feel like it could have ended abruptly, or it was almost like forceful in some way. And I feel like it was this person that pulled away from this connection. And I feel like your energy, like you almost had to like force yourself to move on from the connection, because you literally have the Queen of Cups and the Two of Cups. So like for on your end, like you literally felt like this was your soulmate, or this was like your person, or this was your best friend. You know, you had a very strong, deep emotional connection with this person. You loved them, you know, no matter what kind of a relationship it was. You genuinely loved this person. And especially with the way there's like two people on this card, and then it goes into just one person on this card, and this person is looking away, it almost feels like for group four's energy, you had to like force yourself to move on, force yourself to walk away from this connection, because it just kind of happened. Like something happened. I think this person just pulled back kind of abruptly or out of nowhere. Definitely feels like some kind of a tower moment could have happened between the two of you, but it feels like you didn't have a choice. I don't think you initiated it. I think this person initiated something, and you had to force yourself to move on, or to turn your back, to go in the other direction. And even with this energy up here, it feels like both of you are, there's a mutual energy of both of you are thinking about each other, both of you still care about each other. The feelings are mutual, whether it's romantic or platonic here. And I think with cuddles, please, if this is romantic, then it could be very straightforward that they miss physical touch with you, they miss having that downtime with you or that intimate time with you. But I also feel like if this is more in a platonic sense, it just feels like they miss that one-on-one time that they had with you. Say if like you guys were really close and you would like, maybe have your downtimes together, maybe you would have wine together, maybe you would go do things together and have like more deep conversations or more spiritual conversations or more intimate conversations, without it being romantic. I think it's like they miss that energy. With the Hermit here, I definitely think that it's interesting because in the very beginning, the first message I got, I was like, this person could be going through some kind of a shift in their own life. And I think that actually is true for more of you than I thought, because the Ten of Wands talks about we're ending some kind of a chapter and we're starting something new. And I think there was some kind of a shift in this person's energy to where they felt like they had to pull back from you, from the connection, from the relationship, from the friendship. Even though it was going really well, it just feels like they had to pull back for their own personal reasons. I don't think you did anything. It doesn't feel like you were at fault. It doesn't feel like the connection was at fault. It could have still been a very healthy, romantic or platonic connection relationship that you had with this person. It just feels like they had to pull back for their own self-discovery or for their own new chapter that was starting in their life, or whatever they were ending in their own life. So I think Spirit really wants you to know that like this was not you. It was nothing that you did. It was purely something going on within this person, and they still think about it all the time. And I think because they were the one to pull away first and they were the one to like end something between the two of you, I think they reminisce about that more because they feel responsible for it. They feel responsible that the connection ended between the two of you. But I do think that you love this person, you care about them so much that like you're not mad. That's the thing. It's like you understand why they pulled back. That's what makes this energy so different and so pure and so genuine, so loving and nurturing on your side, is because you, with that sixth sense, like you just knew something was going on with them and you knew why they pulled away. And I think it hurt in the moment, sure, like you're losing a relationship or you're losing a best friend or you're losing some kind of a companionship you had with somebody that you really cared about. So yes, in the moment it hurt, but I think for group four's energy, like you're really wise about it. Intuitively, you knew what was happening. You knew that they had to take their time away or distance themselves for whatever reason. So you were not mad. It feels more bittersweet. It just feels more like sad, disappointing, bittersweet energy, but you knew that like it had to happen this way and it was for their own benefit so they could heal or they could work through whatever they were working through. So I don't think you're holding a grudge. I don't think you're mad at them. I think if they were to reach out to you or to come back around at some point in time, I think you would be there with open arms because that love is still there. That genuine companionship or that genuine friendship, those romantic feelings, whatever it is, it's still there. It never went away. And I think because you didn't end on bad terms, I don't think those feelings will completely ever go away. I think you still have hope that this person might come back, or you might rekindle whatever connection you had at one point in time. With codependency here, I do think no matter what healing or self-discovery or awakening or whatever new chapter this person is going through, I still think they think about you all the time. They reminisce about you. They still love you. I think, again, it's a very mutual energy of both people really love and care about each other and are constantly thinking about each other. So I don't think that they have forgotten about you. I think they're always curious what you're up to. I think there's many moments in their day-to-day lives that they, something reminds them of you, or they think about you, or they wonder what you're up to. But it does feel like they went through some kind of a huge change, and they couldn't handle the change. They couldn't handle everybody else and this change. It almost feels like they had to choose themselves in the time being, because everything was becoming too much. That burdening energy, that 10 of Wands, like in that moment, whatever was happening, they couldn't have it all. They had to drop those wands and walk away, because like it was about to be the straw that broke the camel's back. We have Virgo here, and this is also, oh no, this is Cups. This is Pisces energy. And then we have Cancer energy here. We have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with water signs here. Aw, and now that I'm looking at this awakening card, it does feel like both people are longing for each other. You're missing each other, you're thinking about each other, you're curious what's going on with the other person. And I do think there is a sense of longing on both sides. There's a lot of mirroring going on, for sure. Wow, I just realized in both of these images, there's like this guy and a girl, and it just looks very similar. That's also, I feel like that's also that mirroring energy that's going on as well. But again, this could totally be platonic, family, anybody. This does not have to be romantic. I think this is just showing the love that was there in this connection between the two of you, but it could totally be anybody. I could even see this as like a best friend, somebody that you were very close to at one point in time, and then they had to pull away for whatever reason. And it also feels like for your energy, since they were the one to pull away, for you, it doesn't feel right for you to go after them. Because then, like, that just doesn't feel right to you. Because in your mind, you're like, okay, since they pulled back, I respect their decision. And if they want to come back into my life, like, they can do that. But because they pulled away, it's not my place to go chase after them. And I think you're very mature about that. And I think that's why you haven't, especially with the way this person's face is completely looking away from this person. It just feels like your energy is very much like, yeah, like I'm not chasing it. I'm not running after it. The ball is in their court. If they want to do something about it, then they can come over here. I do think to some extent this person is a little bit afraid because they don't know how you would respond. Because they don't know you feel this way, right? They don't know, unless they're watching this, but they don't know you feel this way, and they don't know that the energy is very mutual on both ends. So I do think that they have some fear that they might get rejected. It might not be reciprocated. They also feel like maybe too much time has passed by. But I also think they're not fully ready yet. With this Hermit energy being their current energy, I don't think they're fully ready to like come back around. I think they're still going through that healing or that transformative period or whatever happened to them. I think they're still going through it. Oh, okay. So let's see what is the energy of the connection itself. We have so many cards. I hope everything fits. The Moon. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I think neither of you know what's going on with the other person. Well, now you might have some more clarity, or maybe you have some confirmation that this is what you were intuitively picking up is happening. So I think yes, but with the Moon here, this is all about confusion, and we just don't know. We're in an unknown. And I think both parties just don't know. They just don't know. They don't know. You don't know what's happening. You don't know where this is possibly going, especially if a lot of time has passed. It's just kind of at a standstill, if that makes sense, and there's just more questions than answers. And I think you definitely don't have any type of access into each other's worlds. So like social media, texting, whatever it is, I don't think you're like involved in each other's lives. I don't think you keep up with each other. So there really is like, I have no idea what's going on with them. And that's a mutual energy for the two of you. Oh, we have new beginnings. And even this, it looks like the tigers are mirroring. Lots of mirroring going on. I don't know how to... Okay, I like that better. Oh, we have love. Yeah, new beginnings and love. Lots of moon. I just realized this is a moon deck, but this card is also the moon that came out. So Cancer could be very significant, but also that intuitive energy. There's a very strong intuitive connection between the two of you. There's a lot of love between the two of you, and I think that's what all this Cancer energy is telling us right now. But I think this connection, like mutually, there is confusion about what's happening. Mutually, there is still that love between the two of you. And I think both of you are hoping that one day you could have a new beginning in this connection. Definitely feels like the ball is in this person's court. It feels like they're the ones that are really going through, you know, the more intensive energy here, the more, you know, spiritual. It just feels like they're going through a lot. And I feel like you're kind of, you know, you're doing good, probably, hopefully. I think I don't see too much going on your side. I think you're just doing your own thing. So it does feel like the ball is in their court whenever they would be ready. Okay. Okay, then. I think that's everything. Yeah, let me go ahead and get these cards kind of settled, and we will now go in and answer the rest of the questions with the deck that you guys chose. Okay. Oops. I'll keep that in mind that the Strength card plopped out. Okay, so let's go ahead and see, what was this connection like before no contact? Wow, that was so fast. I think that's the fastest I got a card out for any of the readings. 6 of Wands. And even, again, so many mirroring images. 6 of Inspiration. This is 6 of Wands. This is Leo energy. So before no contact, this was a very fun energy. You guys had a lot of fun together. I think you bounced off of each other, bounced off ideas, bounced off inspirations, bounced off creativity. I feel like you were very similar people, and you like brought out the really good sides of each other when it comes to your dynamic and your personality. I think you both cheered each other on. I think you both made each other feel more confident. You really like helped each other reach the true potential, like both of your own potentials. I also think you guys had a lot of fun together. And I kind of said that in the very beginning too. It's like you would have a lot of fun with this person when you're hanging out with them. And I think that could also be your energy as well. I think you were both just like two firecrackers. And I think you both had a lot of fun together. But it's interesting because you also have like that good, intimate downtime. Again, doesn't have to be romantic or physical, but, you know, good conversations, intuitive conversations. It's like you are much more than just surface level with each other, but you could have a lot of fun as well. It's like a very nice dynamic that I'm feeling here. And again, with the mirroring, it does feel like you were both equally invested in the connection. I love it. I think you both made each other feel very special. Yeah, it's like, it just feels like you were each other's like #1 fan. Or like you were just really, really supportive, really there for each other. So that's a really nice energy. Let's see what was their feelings like before no contact? So for group 4, what was this person's feelings before no contact? What was their feelings towards group 4 before no contact? Oh, the Fool. Yeah. Like your connection, your friendships, your romantic connection, whatever it is, it's like your connection with this person had no limits. It had no bounds. Like nothing was holding you guys back. I think before no contact, you really had like the entire world at your fingertips. You guys, your energy was so vast, but it was constantly expanding. You were constantly growing together. There was just like no limits to your energies together before no contact. And again, with that fire energy with the Fool, this is like exactly what we saw earlier. You know, it's a very outgoing energy. It's very confident. It's very fun. It's exciting. I think you guys really bounced off of each other really well, to the point where like when this person is not in your life, like you can tell, like you could tell the difference when their energy was not around anymore, because you just like don't connect to certain people the way you connected with this person. You just can't bounce off of other people the way you could this person. You couldn't share ideas the way you could with this person. You know what I mean? It's like you just had such a unique connection with this person. It's like hard to find that with anybody else. And again, this could totally be romantic or platonic. What is the connection like after no contact? Oh my god, it's so sad. Look at how sad this is. They're literally like hunched over in the dark, trying to comfort themselves with a thin sheet. It's like they're trying to embrace themselves, find warmth, but it's like the little blanket or sheet they're using is like not enough to fill the cold, to fill the void in the darkness. The 5 of Pentacles, this is about a lack. This is about feeling left out in the cold, feeling alone, feeling abandoned, feeling like something was taken away from you. And that's what I was just saying. It's like once this person wasn't in your life anymore, both of you realize like, oh my God, like there is a huge void that this person filled that I didn't realize that they filled. And I think both of you could be trying to find that same pleasure or that same types of connections in other people or other types of connections. But it's just like you both filled each other's cups in such a way that like you're not experiencing this with anybody else, which makes the lack and that missing piece, like it makes that grow. It makes that so much bigger than it really is. Or maybe it is growing and it is getting bigger every day, but it's like because you can't find anyone else to fill that hole, that void, it's becoming more and more obvious to you that that void is there. It's becoming more prominent that this void is there. I hope that makes sense. But that is a very sad energy to go from like this very exciting, loving energy. Like, this is my best friend. This is my person. Like, I love this person. They make my life so interesting, so fun, to like, bam, sadness, disappointment. That's really, really intense. Okay. What are they going through for this person, for group 4? What are they currently going through? What is this person currently going through? We have the 10 of Emotions. So this is the 10 of Cups. Let's clarify. And we have the 7 of Voices. So this is the 7 of Swords. Oh, interesting. Oh, look at that. Knight of Emotions, Page of Emotions, bottom of the deck. That's so oh my God. I almost said that's so emotions. I'm losing my mind, you guys. I was going to say that's so interesting because so the 10 of Cups is like a very happy energy. And you could even feel, I think this is also mutual. I think both of you are going through the same energy here. So with the 10 of Emotions, the 10 of Cups, it's a very happy energy. You're very emotionally fulfilled. And it's just like bliss. It's just a very happy, harmonious energy. But it's like, even though they are happy in life, I think this person, wherever they are, they're healing, you know, they're doing their own thing, they're working through whatever, they're growing as a person. So they are happy. They are emotionally happy in life. You know, I'm not gonna lie about that. They are happy with whatever they're doing, but it's like from time to time, this little voice creeps in, and that voice is you. You know, from time to time, it's like those thoughts linger in, that voice lingers in. And it also feels like in their moment of happiness, it's like they want to share stuff with you, but they can't. So there is that sadness again. Like, even though they're doing well and they would say they're happy in life right now, it's like from time to time, your energy lingers in. So then that sadness lingers in. Or it's like they want to tell you something that happened, but they can't. You know, when you're in moments like that, I think from time to time they have these moments. But I do think with the 10 of emotions, I think that's great. I think they're doing really well in life, judging that they kind of were going through something. So I think they are slowly finding happiness again in life. But I think the voices definitely creep in. And you could definitely be feeling the same thing as well. Even this feels like mirroring energies with that image like that. Yeah, and what's so interesting, it's like down here we see all these people. So it feels like they are, you know, yeah, they have friends, they have relationships. Maybe this person is even already moved on. I don't know what kind of relationship you had with them, but it does feel like they do find happiness with other people, but then it's like there's still that little void. Like they're still looking for something that nobody can fill, because you are the only one that could fill that for them. Okay, let's go ahead and see, what would they say to you if they were being honest? What would this person say to group 4 if they were being totally honest? Oh, that almost wanted to come out. It didn't. It's like they're hesitant. They wanted to say something and then they pulled back. I wonder if they do feel that way often. Like they want to text you, they want to reach out to you, they want to call you, but then they pull back and they don't because they're nervous. They don't know how you would react. The Hierophant. And it took a while for this card to come out too. It's interesting, they're getting so many major arcanas, even with that Fool. Let me clarify. What would they say to group 4 if they were being totally honest? Queen of Voices. The first thing I saw with this person's bob is they could tell you that they changed something about their appearance. Maybe they cut their hair. Maybe they like did something about their appearance that maybe like at one point in time they were telling you that, oh, like that would be interesting, or like, oh, maybe I'll switch up my style, or I'll do something different. And it feels like they did it. Whatever they said they were going to do, they did it. And they want to tell you that they changed something about their appearance. Okay, so if they were being totally honest with you, they would say that they are still figuring it out. You know, with the Hierophant here, I think they're still learning, they're still evolving, they're still healing. They're still not 100% where they want to be. And they don't know if, yeah, that's the thing. It's like they don't know if they're ready to come back with the Queen of Voices, because they don't feel like they're 100% where they want to be. So they just don't think they're ready to like rekindle anything right now. Yeah, that's what they would say to you, is that they're still going through the journey, the self-searching journey, or whatever it is that they're doing. They're still going through it. And again, you know, this entire reading, they've been saying that they miss you, they think about you all the time. They, you know, they do feel the emptiness when you're not in their life anymore. But I think they would also say, I'm not exactly where I want to be just yet. But they would also say that they've grown a lot. since the last time that you knew them. They would probably even say that like they're almost a completely different person now, or they're very different from the person you used to know. Like the past version of themselves that you knew, they are very different from that now. They would also say that they're a bit more confident in who they are now versus who they were before, or that they're more authentic to the true version of themselves. They're more authentic. It's like they're living more authentically to their higher self, or to like who they are meant to be, or who, just like it's like they're just living a more authentic life to their higher self. I hope that makes sense. So I would say they're in a positive energy. They have changed, they have healed. They're happy with where they're headed in life. But they don't know if they're 100% there yet. That's interesting. Okay, so that is everything. Yeah, I think they would definitely say I'm different from how you remember me. Because you see this little person down here, it almost feels like this is the past version of themselves. This is their new version. Like this is who they are now. And they're saying like, I've grown a lot from who I used to be. So I'm different. You probably wouldn't recognize me. They almost feel like, what if I'm too different? Like, what if I've changed a lot? Because remember, they don't know exactly how you feel. So they almost feel like, what if I change too much? And maybe you might not welcome me back in the way that we used to be. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the extended. I'm gonna see, will they reach out to you? If so, when? And if so, what will they say? And then we'll also see, should you take action to this person? Should you wait? We'll see, what else, what other advice does Spirit want to give to you? And then we'll see, will Spirit orchestrate any kind of a divine intervention between the two of you? But if this is where I'm leaving you off, that is totally okay. Thank you so much for letting me give you this reading. I hope it was helpful. I hope you were able to get any messages, advice, confirmations, really anything that you came here looking for. So thank you so much for being here. I have a Patreon if you're interested in exclusive content. The viewers on Patreon get to suggest the monthly readings. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is in the description below. The extended is also in the description below. Go ahead and check that out. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.